What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good, fan? Thank you guys for tuning in to Voice of the Fans. This is your man Cam. I got my man Cleavon up in the Northwest. How you doing, Cleavon?
Doing great, Cam. Thanks for asking.
Fans, as always, give you a little rundown of what we're going to talk about. We're going to recap week 4 in the NFL, give you our preview to week 5 of the NFL. We got some NBA discussions. We're going to get into our NBA conversation. Cleavon, I'm going to run down my top 10 NBA storylines. I wanted to stop at 5, man. I just had kept going. Man, there's so many storylines within the NBA. As we know, the NBA is fantastic. So we got a lot to talk about within the NFL. We're gonna get to the Mariners, the playoff, Major League Baseball playoff race. Talk about the Mariners and their game. What time is their game, Cleavon?
They have been eliminated from the MLB playoffs, so there is no game.
Oh man, I thought we were gonna talk Francisco, not I thought we were gonna talk Julio, not Francisco Rodriguez tonight. We're gonna talk about this week in history, as always, fans. But we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast, and we're gonna get our show started just like this.
Am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name is Cameron.
Cam Buford.
I'm a Dolphin fan. This is a big year for Tua to prove that he's a franchise quarterback.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
As a competitor, how much does that competitive spirit get in there and say, I want to fight this guy. I want to get some of this guy.
Of course I want to fight all the guys. Of course that. But at the same time, like I keep telling you, it's a business.
Talk about that loyalty for a moment.
I'm staying there to try to make a change. Get back to the youth, get back to my community and show them that there is hope that you can make it out. Only thing is you just got to be dedicated. You got to keep your head down and stay on this course that you're heading towards.
Think about it like this. The promoter pays the fighter. The fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter. The fighter works for the promoter.
Okay.
If you can see, you can believe.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with him?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
On your team's ball number, is it number 2 option or your number 3 option? On your team?
30 nights a year, he's my number 1 option. 30 nights. Can I finish right now? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about these upcoming?
Okay. Like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
You were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
Real ones know what's going on.
Like you said, Pacific Northwest. So I think it's a big part of my game. And every time I step on the court, I just want to represent myself.
You play this game and you don't turn to win a championship, then why are you playing for?
I'm happy for the Mariners. I'm happy for all
Nobody.
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
Look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do knowing that.
surprised at that.
Hey, come here. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sports. Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do.
Yeah, man. Oh, Reggie was hysterical, dog. Reggie Miller was hysterical. He got me though. He got me. Yeah, man. I was trying to do some Mariners talk tonight, man. I was all excited to talk about the first baseman and their all-stars having an all-star game in the city of Seattle, and these bums can't even make the playoffs. I tell you what, pack those boys up. Pack them up, I tell you, Daniel. Pack them up. Send them to Vancouver. That'd be Canada. Send them out the country. They can't even make the playoffs after hosting an All-Star game. We're going to have to look back, Cleveland, and see when's the last time Major League Baseball team hosted the Major League Baseball All-Star festivities and didn't make the playoffs. We're going to have to look that one up because that's pretty freaking embarrassing. What you think about that, Cleveland?
Oh, boy, I'm sure, Cameron, that happens more times than you think. But, hey, man, they did it to themselves, and that's why all this banter is going back and forth right now.
Too much Manor talk. Cut it out. Too much Manor talk. Too much Manor talk. Ruining my show. Ruining my show. It's October 5th, 2023. Week 260 fans. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Enough of that Mariner talk. Enough for that loser conversation. And let's get him out of town. I say get him out of Seattle. Until then, we're going to talk about the NFL week 4 in the NFL. We had some tough competition. Buffalo smacked the Dolphins around. Kind of took them out of the water up there in Buffalo. It wasn't even snowing in Buffalo. Put the smack down. The 49ers showing that special teams guy is pretty dope. Cleveland, would you say so?
Yeah, and I've been doing some additional analysis on that, and I definitely have a unique perspective on that as well. So if you want to get into that, that's fine as well.
Oh, we're going to talk about that. Are you ready to recant and say you were wrong, that he's more than a special teams player? Are you ready to say that?
Said that years ago, Cam. Said that years ago.
I mean, but right now, are you ready to say that he's more than a special teams player?
Yes, again, I will reiterate what I have said for many years. I was incorrect in my assessment of Christian Jackson McCaffrey coming out of college. He is more than a special teams player.
Oh, well, there we go. I guess that's progress. That's progress. Cleveland, since you are the what do you like to call yourself? The all-knower of all things sports?
Self-proclaimed expert on all things sports related.
Yeah, so I'm going to let you get into this baseball postseason, and we're going to get your prognostications on how this playoffs is going to go. I'm not sure how much the fans should listen to this because you had the Mariners. Didn't you have the Mariners in the World Series this year?
I did. Mariners and the Padres was my initial prediction.
Oh, you're 0 for 2. I was just going to hold you against the Mariners.
No, I will own it all. 0 for 2.
All right, and then we're going to the fantasy teams. I mean, somebody's in our particular fantasy league. Somebody's leading the league in points. I'm not sure who that is, but we can. We'll see.
Are they in first place or sixth place?
In overall points for the league.
No, not overall points. I mean, like in the standings of the league.
Again, somebody's leading the league in points, and we'll identify and see who that is in a little bit.
And apparently not leading the league in record.
In points again. We're gonna stay on script. Stay on script.
I will stay on script. Excuse me.
Stay on script. We're gonna get to this boxing. Canelo and Charlo. Did you see this fight over the weekend?
I did.
I walked half a mile to see this fight. I was in Denver over the weekend, and the first 3 places I stopped, they decided they weren't showing the fight. Cleveland, I literally walked half a mile to go see this fight, and I'm going to give you my feelings on this fight, what happened. If you guys didn't see Canelo and Charlo, I got some comments about this fight. But as we do each and every week, Cleveland, we start our show off with the numbers game, with it being October 5th, 2023, week 260 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're going to look at the number 5, Cleveland, and the number 60 today. Cleveland, when you think of the number 5, who wore that number best, or who comes to your mind first?
Comes to mind first is Reggie Bush, just because of his spectacular career over there at University of Southern California. Who wore it the best? Probably Joe DiMaggio.
Joe DiMaggio? Okay. I thought you go another direction, considering we just had the recent passing of Brooks Robinson. You know, they say Brooks Robinson was arguably the best third baseman ever played the game, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's even an argument. He's the best defensive third baseman to ever play baseball. But it's just my humble opinion.
Okay, I mean, You mentioned Reggie Brooks. That was a good call. Jalen Rose also one number 5. George Brett. George Brett, would he be number 2 third baseman ever play baseball?
I think so. I mean, when we're really looking at the numbers, I think that he has to be considered number 2 behind Bruce Robinson.
And the number 60, Cleveland. Number 60. I mean, obviously, we get into these 60s. It gets kind of tough, man. You have to be a real astute mind in sports to come up with some of these 60s. Who do you got for number 60?
Cam, I have nobody.
You have nobody?
I have nobody.
You know the legendary Chuck Bednarik. The legendary Chuck Bednarik, and then you've heard of the also fabled Otto Graham, who had 60 surgeries probably on one leg. That's what he's for the bunch of surgeries he had just to keep playing the game of football that he loves so much.
Well, I will concede to the Bednarik, especially given the show voice of the fans. I know how you like those kind of players, so yeah, Bednarik for sure.
I mean, what's that supposed to mean with those type of players? What's that?
Those kind of players, Cam, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I mean, let the fans know. Hey, I mean,
you explain it to me. You want me to explain it?
I mean, you the one that said those type of players. We're trying to figure out what you're talking about.
Those cats that are really physical. Those cats that play like maybe a second after the whistle is actually blown. Just to kind of make their, presence of authority be known. You like those kind of players. And Chuck Bednarik was certainly one of those kind of players.
I mean, the game of football is physical. It's a physical game, Cleveland. I'm not sure if you're familiar with how physical that game can be.
I'm 100% sure about it. That's why you were okay with the Colorado State hit on Hunter. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm sure Rodney Harrison was Rodney Harrison one of your favorite players.
Actually, Rodney Harrison was not one of my favorite players of all time. He was a bit over the line.
He epitomizes that mentality you got, though, right?
He was a habitual line stepper. That's what Rodney Harrison was. You want to get close to that. You want to get close to that line, but you don't want to go over that line. And Rodney liked to go over that line. So you want to get close to that line. So there's a couple plays that you want to bring that up. Let's discuss this, fans. Just so Cleveland trying to call me out. Most of you guys who watched Monday Night Football yesterday. Simmons, the freakish defensive player, linebacker that was traded from the Cardinals to the Giants, he had a questionable call last night against Geno Smith. Took my man out. I need Geno Smith to get some points on the board, and Simmons comes there and try to, rip his Achilles out. Did you see that as a dirty play?
Dirty.
He was late. He was late. He was late. It was awkward. I don't know how he tried to tackle the man by grabbing him on the back and falling over. I don't know where you learn that kind of tackling from, first of all. But he was extremely late. He was extremely late. Dirty. I understand why Geno would say so, but Geno, don't catch your own pass. Geno.
Or if you do just fall down, I don't know what he was trying to do.
No, Geno, don't catch it. Knock the ball down. You ain't never seen Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning maybe had one reception where he caught his own pass. But you knocked that ball down, Geno, and don't try to run. As soon as he caught it and started scampering around, Geno, don't catch your own pass. I hope he learns by now. Don't catch your own pass. So that wasn't a dirty play. But what was dirty was when Tillery went and tried to run over Justin Herbert. I don't know. Did you see that play?
I did.
That was
several steps out of bounds. Yeah,
that was dirty,
and he was already shutting it down. Yeah,
that was. You read so many times in practice. You had that red jersey on. Now I'm gonna get my lick on you right now. I don't care who's watching, where we at. I'm getting my lick. That I still don't think he deserved to be kicked out of the game. But it was well worth of 15-yarder. Like, I don't think he didn't go ahead. He didn't hit him in the head. He just kind of went and gave him a shoulder bump. It was late. It certainly was late, no question about it. But I didn't think that deserved an ejection. What would you? If any of those hits we're talking about Simmons on Geno Smith, Tillery on Herbert, neither one of those were ejectionable hits. Do you think?
Yeah, the Tillery one. Yeah, we have to set a precedence. You know, we think we're doing that by creating the boundaries and the parameters, you know, with which you can hit the quarterback, and you're still not paying attention. And it's Herbert. Oh yeah.
You look at you giving Herbert some respect out here. Look at you giving Herbert some respect.
I'm giving him a top 7 quarterback in this league right now. Top 7.
Top 7.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to fans, I need my freaking sound effects. Top 7. You name 6 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert right now.
Man, Cam out right now, man.
6 quarterbacks better than Herbert right now. You can't do it. You can't name 6 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert right now.
Okay, Brock Purdy.
Oh,
Brock Purdy.
Oh, fans, you see this guy? You see how dirty this guy is?
You agree or disagree?
Fans. You guys see how dirty Cleveland is right now? You see how dirty he is? Come on. Brock Purdy, that's the first player you come with is Brock Purdy.
You agree or disagree?
Brock Purdy is not better than Justin Herbert. Justin
Brock
Herbert,
Purdy.
man, shame on you. Shame on you.
You didn't score like 30 points like the last 27 games you done played.
Oh, he's mad. He didn't like that, fans. Last week, if you watched the show last week, I told him Brock Purdy has scored 30 points in all of his starts. Well, it turns out Brock Purdy has scored 30 points in 9 going into this weekend. I sent you that text last Wednesday after the show, right? Going into this weekend, he was 9 out of 10 games that he scored 30 points. And Cleveland don't want to give Brock Purdy no credit, but all of a sudden, Brock Purdy is better than Justin Herbert. Cleveland, shame on you. Shame on you.
Are we still continuing with the list, or
go ahead? I want to hear this list. I'm interested to hear this list.
Brock Purdy. Okay.
And wrong.
Ooh. Good. Ooh. Wow. Really? Okay. Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh my goodness. This guy is something else. This guy. Okay, continue. I'll give you that one. I'll give you Tua.
Give me Tua. Oh, thanks for that. Patrick Mahomes.
Of course.
Can I get Pat?
Pat, that's so you got 2.
Okay. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, okay, 3.
I can get Jalen.
You can get there.
Josh Allen.
Oof. That's arguable, but for the sake of argument, I'll give you 4.
That's arguable.
That's debatable. That's debatable. But for the sake of argument, we'll make this quick. I'll give you 4. So you got 3 more QBs to name better than, or really 2, because you said top 7. So
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow's obvious.
Okay. CJ Stroud.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I know you predicted CJ. I said CJ. I wasn't sure about CJ. CJ couldn't get his team to the national championship game in college football. He looked like he was clueless. I'll concede CJ is better than I anticipated, but CJ is not better than Justin Herbert. Cut it out.
Geno Smith.
Come on. You're reaching. You're reaching. You're reaching right now. You're reaching for one more quarterback. Just admit that. Just admit he's at least top 6 now. Just say Herbert's top 6.
Geno Smith.
Stop it. Stop it. Just go ahead. You can't do. Come on, Cleveland, cut it out. So you can't come up with 6 better quarterbacks than Justin Herbert.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh my goodness, listen to you. All right, fans, we're gonna get going with the show now. Cleveland cannot. You just notice everybody listen to the show. You see, Cleveland cannot come up with 6 quarterbacks better than Justin Herbert. He stopped at 5. Come to a screeching halt.
I didn't get too deep into it, but okay. So Justin Herbert is the 6th best quarterback in the NFL right now, possibly. Before I get too in depth into my analysis for the season, but okay, sure.
Yeah, okay, all right. What's up, Barry? What you think about Cleveland's list? He came up with the rookie, Deshaun Watson, who hasn't played in 2 years and didn't play this past weekend. Come on, cut it out. Cut it out. All right, Cleveland, speaking of Justin Herbert and his squad, it looks like they're sending J.C. Jackson back to the Patriots, who they traded for big time, and just things never worked out. He got into trouble initially upon signing, came out to L.A. and just was wilding in Hollywood. Missed training camp last season, if I remember correct. Then was benched in week 6, tore his Achilles or tore his knee up in week 7. So he was on repair all off season. Then comes back this year and gets benched again. Tells a reporter he's confused and was forced to sit out. And that confusion, Cleveland, I think that adds to my comment when I was talking about last week about they're asking Brandon Staley is asking his guys to do too much because in New England, Justin Jackson was a lockdown corner, played one-on-one, and just you put him out there and don't worry about that side of the ball. In New England or in LA, I don't know what his anticipation was. He clearly just wanted to come and play his man. But Staley is trying to do all trying to reinvent the wheel and is confusing his guys out there where they can't keep up. And Jackson wasn't able to play under that condition, and so they sending him. He signed a big deal, 5 years for $83 million, and they end up sending a 6 and 7 round pick swap in exchange for J.C. Jackson, and the Chargers are going to pay his salary for this year. Pay up to $12 million of his salary. Pay us $12 million salary this year. So it's they want to just get rid of him. In front of your guy, Christian Gonzalez, who tore his knee up, and the rookie who was playing big for those guys. So they got their replacement back though, and then we'll see if Bill Belichick's ever to revive J.C. Jackson's career. What's your quick thoughts on that?
I'm done with Belichick, and I realize I've been listening to you a little bit too much over these years, and he's cost me a bunch of money. So me and Belichick is done.
He's cost you a bunch of money. Interesting. Well, you're Randy Gregory now. After the Broncos get their first win against a pathetic Chicago Bears, they release Randy Gregory, and he out of his 5 years, $78 million, he's going to get at least 20. So he walks away with 20 for 10 games with the Broncos. What's your thoughts on that situation?
Yeah, good riddance, man. They weren't stopping anything. They couldn't stop a nosebleed over there in Denver. So, yeah, not sad for him. Nothing about it.
And Jonathan Taylor looks like he's returning to practice this week. And from what we see out of Anthony Richardson, looks like they got a baller there. How much did Jonathan Taylor help him and help the Colts offense?
Oh man, immensely. It really makes it a 2-team race out there, right? I mean, I don't know what Jacksonville's really gonna do. Are we confident with them? I mean, the Houston Texans have already proven that they're ready to take that next step. So, Tennessee, I know how you feel about Tannehill. So, hey man,
So you said
you go with the Richardson Taylor attack, Pittman over the top. I mean, they've been holding their own these first couple of games. So, I don't want to say I was wrong about Anthony Richardson, but man, he is not making the mistakes I was anticipating him making in making the transition from college to pro. Not having played very many games, he's picked it up fairly quickly. I'm just bigger and faster, so yeah.
He's looking like he still makes some rookie mistakes, but he's looking like a productive player in the NFL. And that's impressive. But you said a 2-team race. Like it's not. I don't think it's a 2-team race. It's there. I don't think anybody, as you mentioned, Jacksonville hasn't shown. They're over there in London. I guess they're making fans over there in London, but they haven't shown that they're ready to take the division by storm. They got the Colts. Houston, as you mentioned, your guy C.J. Stroud he's surprising people himself. So they're playing more competitive than anticipated. So I think that division is still up for grabs, right? As we sit now.
I'm taking it to the top. I'm taking. That's what I'm saying. I'm taking the the Young Bucks to reestablish their presence of authority. Houston and Indy will decide that division. Won't be Tennessee and Jacksonville.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Jacksonville likes to play with their food, like Yana said a long time ago. Man, you just can't be playing with your food, man.
The Bengals. We're gonna get to the Bengals, but T. Higgins right now dealing with the rib injuries. Looks like he's gonna be out this weekend. And the Bengals just can't get it going. Like they're having a Super Bowl hangover. As we know that Burrow has been hobbled by this calf injury. Would you sit Burrow down, or are they past that mark of sitting Burrow down?
Past the mark of sitting him. They would have sat him the first 2 games. They didn't. It's too late. There's too much at stake. You have to play in every game.
Yeah, let's see what we can get from them. Fortunately, they still have their bye coming up, but. You gotta get right, man. I don't know if they need electric stim, if he needs a masseuse. I don't know what he needs, but he need to get right, and we need to get some points on the board, Joel. This is all on you. Odell and Bateman look like they're going to return to the Ravens. All the receivers, we thought this is going to be the best, the most tools that Lamar Jackson has had in his career. And Odell went out week 1. Bateman went out week 2. So all he had is the young boy, the young rookie. And maybe they can get things turned around because the Ravens haven't looked like we had anticipated. Or have they?
No, I mean the first couple of games, I mean, I've said that they've definitely evolve the offense, so it's not all about Lamar all the time. Unfortunately, due to injury, it has kind of regressed back to that, to just throw to Mark Andrews and whoever else is open and just run a lot. Fortunately,
their running backs has gone out, so it's kind of been all on Lamar.
Yeah, no, I mean Lamar. I'm not talking about their running backs. Like, yeah, Lamar just run a lot and try and get in Tucker range, which is pretty close. And fortunately, they got a chance to play a team that was not starting an NFL quarterback last week and get that win, which kind of replaces the loss that you had against the Colts, which was inexcusable. So going into this game against the Steelers, I mean, we'll see. I'm not enamored with the Steelers offense right now, so they should win that game.
Are you calling out the coach? Are you calling out Tomlin?
I'm not calling out anybody, Cam. It's too early.
Oh boy.
It's the first quarter. It's the first quarter. We're past the first quarter. It's the first 100 meters. We'll see how the second 100 meters goes.
Oh boy! Now, so you're giving your boy a pass is what you're doing right now. Now you're giving your boy a pass. You're all over Staley. You're all over Staley for what he's doing, but you're gonna give Tomlin a pass.
Well, Staley has what'd you say, Cam? A top 5 quarterback in this league. Does Tomlin have that? No, he does not.
Okay, so now you're giving.
Doesn't Staley have Austin Eckler? Doesn't Staley have Joey Bosa? Derwin James Jr.
Tomlin has Minka
in the game. I mean, you know, all these tools.
Tomlin has Minka in Watt. I mean, so what are you talking about? And he has Najee Harris for better or for worse.
Oh man, I see that's cornball right there. Trying to throw Najee Harris in the conversation. Wow.
For better or for worse.
Wow. See, fans. I don't know if you remember how much he was on the Najee Harris bandwagon. You see how quickly he jumped off like he didn't even know that dude. Like what? Why are you talking to me?
Yeah, wow. Man. Yeah,
man.
He's been.
I love the way you turn your back on him.
I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, I expected that guy to be a bell cow.
You just turn your back on him like that. Wow.
I expected him to be a bell cow, and we seen a cow with a bell. That's all we seen from that guy. Oh man,
he went polar opposite on him. That's terrible.
Cleveland, most impressive win for this weekend. I have the Buffalo Bills in the way they just, it started off as a barn burner, and then once Buffalo got a couple sacks on Tua, they had him rattled. Looking at his second and third reads, Tua couldn't do much more, and Buffalo continued to score. That was the best win of the weekend. That was the most impressive weekend. I go Seahawks number 2 and the Texans number 3. What was your most impressive wins of the weekend?
I would go Denver Broncos number 2 and then Seahawks number 3 with Texans a close 4th.
Broncos? Come on. Just because they got off the winless column, they beat the Chicago Bears.
It was down 28-7, man. It was a laugher.
Against the Bears, Cleveland, against the Bears.
Still against a professional NFL team.
Oh, come on. A winless.
In one half, they were able to turn it around and get a victory. Yeah, that's impressive.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how impressive. I disagree with that one. You said the Texans were 4th. Who else you say?
Oh man, the Hawks. I mean, did you see that defense? It's crazy.
Yeah, that was. I wonder. They played the Giants, and they played the Giants without a running back. Daniel Jones, we know, is if he is best.
He's mobile though. He's mobile.
He's mobile, but he can't throw. He has nobody to throw it to. Well, like who's he throwing to? And
Jalen Hyatt, what's the man's name over there?
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Waller. Come on, man.
Didn't target him enough. Should have targeted him more.
You're right about that.
I don't call the plays over there, so
they're come on. They're less than impressive. The Giants were. That was a good win because you against a team like that, you're supposed to dominate them like the Cowboys did earlier in week 1. When you come up against those guys, you're supposed to put it on them, and the Seahawks put it on them. You know, the Seahawks defense kind of let the young defense take some strides, get some reps in there and build their confidence against the Giants. So that was a good win by the Seahawks. Certainly, that was my second best win of the week. The Texans, I had the Texans. I thought their win against Steelers, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Again, we're not sure who the Steelers are. We're not sure. It's early in the season. We're not sure who the Steelers are because right now they're 2-2, but the Texans are 2-2 as well. So this was at home, defending their home field, and CJ Stroud, first quarterback ever to throw for 1,200 yards and 0 interceptions. That's impressive. out of all the quarterbacks that played in the game, C.J. Stroud, a guy you said who's going to be okay in the NFL, he's proven better than okay. So that was impressive. I'd say the Niners route over the Cardinals, but again, looking at the competition, it was the Cardinals. They're supposed to route the Cardinals. They did what they're supposed to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's that can't be a big win.
Yeah, I mean divisional win, but again, against a team they're supposed to against a team they're supposed to beat up, they beat them up. As I mentioned, the Bills, I'm showing my unbiased opinion against a division rival coming to their town. They got Tua looking at his second and third options, and they got him on the ground. One thing I did see, excuse me, fans. What's your thoughts on what Buffalo did?
I loved it, man. Took all those options away. Ed Oliver from the University of Houston, first rounder like 3 years ago. Yeah. Collapsing that thing. Yeah. Tua is different when he has to think too much and run around. And what's that one running back you guys got? Yeah, he was not. A-Chain
still had two touchdowns.
That's great. That's cool. But he wasn't that dude. He wasn't that dude.
I mean, he still had two touchdowns.
They got beat by 50 points. And they got beat by 28 points, man.
Yeah, I mean, they stopped scoring. And again, when you get Tua off of that second read, the game changes a little bit. So kudos to them for defending their home field. I was actually in Denver at a sports bar that ended up I didn't know it and until I just started talking to some ladies going into the sports bar who was wearing Josh Allen jerseys. I was going to talk shit to them and didn't know I was walking into the Buffalo Bills home bar in Denver. So I get upstairs. It's all Buffalo Bills fans. So they doing the chant and they playing "Nobody Circles a Wagon Like the Buffalo Bills," and they're playing this song. I mean, by halftime I had to leave that spot because I just heard too much. Every touchdown they're just going over the Buffalo Bills song. It was kind of ridiculous. But no, the Buffalo Bills, in all seriousness, the Buffalo Bills look solid. Again, they certainly look like the better team. Josh Allen looks like he's gotten comfortable. He wasn't forcing stuff like he was in week one against the Jets. And there was some poor tackling that they took advantage of. If you saw that big highlight, that big catch and run,
Stephon Diggs, where he turned around and spun around. Yeah, I needed those points. Sure did.
Ooh, ugly.
Did need those points.
Yeah, I was saying he stepped out of bounds, but he stayed in bounds and got down the sideline on him. So that was a good win by the Bills. I can objectively say that was a good spanking by the Bills, and the Dolphins kind of needed that. Now they can they welcome the Giants this weekend. And let's see if they can smack the Giants around like the Hawks smacked them around on Monday night. As I mentioned, C.J. Stroud, I mean, will he be? He looks like he can be the best NFL quarterback to come out of OSU. Because there haven't been. Can you name the best quarterback to come out of Ohio State University?
Well, yeah, Burrow being the transfer, so then you have to go to the list of Justin Fields and
nope.
My man,
who was the tall guy who won the national championship? Came in as a rookie. Cardell Jones. What did he do in the NFL? He played a few years in the NFL. He might still be in the league, but he was a third rounder at best. Or not? Excuse me, not a third rounder, third stringer at best. You can't name one. Kirk Herbstreit. Kirk Herbstreit played in the NFL.
R.I.P. Mr. Haskins. They tried at Washington, and he went to
But again, he in his short career, he was in a couple different spots. He never really was that guy.
Moved Terrell Pryor receiver. That didn't work out
Yeah.
either. So yeah. CJ Stroud, best one so far. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, and he's only halfway into the season, not even halfway into the season. The Commanders taking the Eagles to overtime. Was that a moral victory? So when you have the defending NFC champions on the ropes, you tie the game with no time on the clock. Do you go for 2 to win it, or do you kick the field goal to go into overtime?
Kick the field goal, kick the extra point to go into overtime.
No, excuse me, the extra point. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
The extra point. Why not take your shot? Why not take your shot?
Because you don't miss it, lose the game. If you kick it, if you miss it, you lose the game. If you kick it, you have a chance to get the coin flip and get the ball first and go down and score a touchdown and win the game.
But if you go for 2, you don't have a 3-yard play that you're confident in. Come on, Eric Bieniemy. Come on, Eric. You run the offense. You don't have a 3-yard play that you're confident in.
This is not the greatest show on turf, man. This is the Washington Commanders offense.
Running back out the backfield, tight end over the middle.
Nope.
Man, show some heart and go for it. Go for it. You're not expecting to get blown out of this game. What was the spread on that game? Let me see. What was the spread? It was what?
It was 9.
It was we got 8 points. 8-point spread.
You went up to 9. Okay.
Okay. You have a chance. You have the defending NFC champions on the ropes.
Kick it.
You can go for 2, win the game, or kick the extra point and go into overtime. And you may not see the ball again, and that's exactly what happened.
Kick it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. You got to show some heart, man. You're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be in that situation. Go for it. Go for it.
Kick it.
I disagree with that one. Yeah, I disagree with that one. I think they should have went ahead and went for that one. The Cowboys rout the Patriots. Now, I didn't tell you. I never told you that the Cowboys going to win this game. I don't know what you did. I never told you the Patriots are going to win this game. I don't know what you're so discussing with Bill about, but the Cowboys.
I'm not discussing with Bill. I'm discussing with myself, Cam, because I've been listening to years and years and years of you trying to throw your coach and make a difference. If you get a real coach, you can do stuff, especially in football. No, you can't. There's no talent on that team. Quarterback sucks. Running game sucks. Secondary sucks. Can't get any pressure on the quarterback. They suck. 38-3, they suck.
Did you have money on this? Sound like you had money on Patriots.
I absolutely did.
I mean, that might be your fault. Don't blame
the Patriots. I teased the Patriots up to 13 points. They couldn't stay within 2 touchdowns that game. Start benching your quarterback in the fourth quarter. Oh, wow. Really? In the fourth game of the year, you're already benching your starting quarterback? Like, we've seen enough from you. There's no more you can do. This game is so out of hand, you don't even need to see the field. Stand over here next to me. Wow. That is straight to the principal's office right there.
So you had the Patriots as the worst loss of the week, where I had the Bengals. The Bears embarrassing because they, as you
no, I didn't say that was the worst loss of the week. It was the worst loss of me financially, as far as from a wagering perspective. But no, there were far worse losses of the season.
What was the worst loss of the weekend? I had the Bengals.
I really honestly think it was the Carolina Panthers, man, against the Minnesota Vikings. They were up 13-7, driving down the field. Bryce Young turns the ball over. They scoop and score. They score again. Bryce Young has the ball again. Turns it over again. That was a horrible loss.
I thought the Panthers. I mean, Minnesota. I expected Minnesota. Did you have the Panthers winning that game? I mean, I had you. You had Minnesota winning that game.
I had Minnesota winning the game,
Yeah.
but once Carolina was in a position to win the game, just the way they lost it was embarrassing.
I had the Bengals, their loss as the worst loss of the weekend to the Titans. The Titans, nobody's going to convince me that Ryan Tannehill is a threat out there.
That's part of the problem, Cam. No one's going to convince you. You can go 12-4. You can make a Pro Bowl. You can get you to the AFC Championship, and you still are never going to be convinced.
Yeah, I'm not.
Problem, Cam. No. Until he wins the Super Bowl, is that the only thing that will convince you?
And then they'll win the Super Bowl because they have
because Derrick Henry and the great defense.
They have Vrabel and
it will have nothing to do with
Derrick Henry. They have Vrabel and Derrick Henry, and Tannehill is the benefactor of a good defense and a good running game.
So there's nothing he can do.
No, pretty much. Pretty much.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, that
sounds real personal. So sorry.
I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just calling like what it is. Like any quarterback in the NFL is going to want a stout defense and one of the best top 5 running games in the NFL. Any quarterback will succeed.
Lots of quarterbacks have that game and don't get as far as
not lots of quarterbacks have Derrick Henry, who just became the 5th player to rush for over 8,000 yards in the first 8 seasons. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has Mike Vrabel as their head coach who has that stout defense.
Oh man, no. Cam, are you letting your coaching bias slip in?
No, I'm just saying. You said it, I'm telling you, any quarterback worth the grain of salt would be able to look halfway decent in that situation of a top 5 running game and a top 8 defense in the NFL. Any quarterback, Richardson, Stroud, that's what's going on in Houston. Who you want to say? Who's quarterback? O'Donnell, who's cornerback in the Raiders? Anybody?
Yeah, you're so disrespecting Ryan Tannehill. He's a Pro Bowler in this league. He's taking his team to the AFC Championship, man. Step down, man.
He's a Pro Bowler in the league when everybody else
come on, man.
Steps out of the
situation. They drafted. Where's Will Levis?
Give it a couple weeks.
Where's Will Levis? Where's Malik Willis? Where's Malik Willis? You drafted him last year.
I don't think they give and I know they didn't give Malik Willis a proper opportunity.
Man, come get the crown, man. Come get it.
And I know. Will Levis, he'll be in there before the season's over.
Ryan Tannehill is going to be here through the whole year. This year, he's going to be there through the whole year. Next year, and maybe the year after that.
Oh boy,
he had 8-9 year career over there.
And that means they won't win anything if they
might get back to the AFC Championship again.
Moving on to the Steelers, I thought the Steelers was another worse loss. Them losing to Houston Texans. I give credit. I'll give the Houston Texans credit, but your guy Pickett, it hasn't shown up in this regular season. Your guy Tomlin has let a rookie pass all over him. I mean, that's stuff like that ain't supposed to happen.
Not just some rookie. I mean, let's.
I mean, you got to be better than that, Tomlin. You've been in this game. You've been in the league for a little while. You can't let a rookie's not supposed to be coming dancing all over the star, is he?
Some rookies are better than others. Some are a little bit more talented, arm-wise.
Yeah, so looking back at our picks this week, Cleavon, the games that we both agreed that Detroit, I'll give you just the games. I only lost 2 games this week. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I put too much hope in your guy, Mike Tomlin, to beat up on the rookie. Now I know better. I had Cincinnati beating up on the Titans, and yeah, that was another smackdown that we saw.
Ryan Tannehill led offense. Mm-hmm.
Derrick Henry again became the 8th player. I think the 5th player to rush for 8,000.
Ryan Tannehill had 4 or 5 touchdowns that game, Cam.
I think again, Derrick Henry became the 5th player to rush for 8,000 yards in his first 8 seasons. Not many players have done that. Again, the benefactor of an awesome running game and an awesome defense. Come on now, just let's put it in context.
Awesome defense. Wow, let's put it in context. The Titans are serviceable. Awesome. I don't know about awesome.
The Titans has been stout in the top half of defenses in the league ever since Mike Vrabel been the head coach.
Your disdain for Ryan Tannehill just knows no bounds. It's crazy.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't take away from the stout defense that the Titans have had. Without even looking at the numbers,
there's no need.
The Titans have had a top 15 defense. As long as Vrabel been coaching,
let it go, man. Let it go. Cam.
As long as Vrabel been coaching,
let it go. Tannehill is doing a great job, serviceable over there, man. Might get that team into the playoffs again.
You see what you
fifth or sixth time since he's been over there.
Oh my goodness, Tomlin, get it together, Tomlin. You're supposed to beat those guys. So I only had 2 wrong this week, and that was Pittsburgh over Houston. I had Pittsburgh over Houston, and Tomlin let the rookie pass all over him. And I had Cincinnati supposed to beat the Titans. And, Cincinnati, I mean, they ain't the same. They ain't Joe Burrow ain't the same right now. So he got smacked around, and they go to 2-2. Cleveland, you want to explain what happened? Your Falcons over there in London?
Nah, man, London's tough. That's as far as I can go with it.
You had Cleveland. You have Cleveland over Baltimore.
Yeah, I didn't know Deshaun Watson was going to get hurt 2 hours for the game. I'm not going to say about that one.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a weird one, and the GM tried to throw Deshaun under the bus. Said he could have went. He was clear to play, and it was his decision not to play. That was pretty cool of him to do that. The Raiders over the Chargers. You explain your.
I didn't know Jimmy G wasn't going to be playing either. I didn't know O'Connell was going to be out there, man. Come on now.
Hey, yeah, rookie got.
I make my picks on Wednesdays, fans. I don't know what's going to proceed all the way up to Sunday, and I can't make the changes, so I go with whatever happens.
When did I make my picks? Didn't we make our picks at the same time, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had the pick thinking that Jimmy G was going to be playing.
So
did I.
I mean, with or without Jimmy G, the Raiders.
No, it's not with or without, homie.
With or without, the Raiders weren't beating the Chargers.
No.
As much as Staley tried to give away some games.
That's absolutely no way you can say that,
man. As much as Staley tried to give away the games,
there's no way you can say the game goes exactly the same way with a rookie quarterback starting. I didn't say adverse a quarterback that started in the Super Bowl.
I didn't say the game goes exactly the same, but the Chargers do win. That's the only thing I was pointing out. Okay. Again, well, I picked the Chargers on Wednesday when you
did. Not knowing that the Raiders are going to be playing with a rookie quarterback.
Again,
made it even easier for your pick to come true.
Oh my goodness! Again, with or without Garoppolo. Your guy.
You know what, Cam? Hold on, man. Can we get an asterisk pick? At least one, if not 2?
Oh, here we go. Why? An asterisk pick? Why? So you can flex. You want to flex picks now?
Sunday morning, if the starting quarterback that you thought was going to be playing is not playing, and only the quarterback, you can change the pick.
Now he went down, fans. He want to change his pick the day of the game. What?
Yeah, it makes a significant difference if it's DTR starting for the Cleveland Browns, 5th round pick versus Deshaun Watson. That's significantly different.
Did Mike
I thought that on Wednesday when Deshaun was supposed to be starting, but now that I know that DTR started, yeah, I don't feel that way, man.
Did McDaniels give you a call on Sunday morning saying, "Hey, yo, look"?
You know what? On Saturday, he did give me a call, said, "Hey, man, Jimmy G is not going, man." I'm like, "But Josh, I made my pick on Wednesday." He's like, "Man, I'm just giving you a heads up in case he's in your fantasy, man." and then hung up.
I mean, at least he called you, though.
At least he called me, right? At least he gave me the heads up. I'm like, good looking, man.
At least he called you.
Good looking. At least he gave me the heads up. But it's too late on the voice of the fans picks.
I mean, our picks going on Wednesday. What you want me to do?
I know. I'm asking the question. Can I get an asterisk? And only if it's the quarterback. If it's some other, if it's the running back, a receiver. Oh well. If it's the starting quarterback, man, can I change it? Up to you. Think about it. You don't got to decide right about this for a second, but man.
Okay, we'll have to count.
Because if I was going to the casino, like, I'm not just still going to make like the same bet. Like it's going to be different. The starting quarterback's not starting anymore.
Okay, we'll have to count that one. We'll have to count that one.
Think on it.
So for the week, again, we agreed on everything else: Dallas, San Francisco, KC over Seattle. So for the week, our picks against the spread, I had Miami +2. That didn't help them. That didn't even help them. Mm-hmm. I had Baltimore +2, Tampa Bay +3.5. So I won 2 of those. You had New England +7. Yeah, that didn't help.
Belichick too. Yeah, let me down greatly. Yeah, I think we're done.
That didn't help you. Buffalo -5 or -2.5. That was a good call. And Seattle +2.5. Yeah, good call by you. So overall, 16-14. 16-14 this week. Our confidence picks, we both went 15 for 15. So that was a good way to finish that out. You still leading the season by just a couple picks, man. I'm right there on your heels. So don't slip up now. You better field all those calls that you're getting, all those insider calls. You better field them all because you see I'm right there snipping at your heels.
Yeah, I got my Michael Johnson gold shoes on. It's cool.
So our picks this week, we both have. I'll just identify the ones where we disagree on. I got Indy at home over the Titans. I'm going with the rookie over the Tennessee Titans. Mm-hmm. The rookie and the stout defense. Let's see if Jonathan Taylor comes back, and then that'll be a rookie with the stout defense against your guy Ryan Tannehill with the stout defense and good running game. We'll see if Taylor comes back and provide a spark for the Colts. These are 2-2 teams. This might be a game of the week, actually. I don't think I identified.
I think I want to put an elbow on it, Cam, just to really extra rub it in. Tannehill throw for 300.
That's gonna be little Indy. It's Indy at home gets 1.5. Whew. So they're really saying it's a Tennessee, really a Tennessee game, but they're gonna give the nod to Indy because they're at home. I mean, that could be a game of the week, actually. We both have New England over the Patriots. The games we disagree in. We agree on everything. You have the Raiders over the Packers? Come on.
Again,
What's the logic?
Fans, I'm picking this game not understanding if Jimmy G is playing. If Jimmy G is playing, then yeah, I got the Raiders. If Jimmy G is not playing, yeah, I don't think they're gonna win.
So
But
you got no love for love. You got no love for love.
He cool.
You ain't seen love play. You ain't got no love for love. That's what
I did see Love play against the Saints. Yeah, wasn't impressed. Or the Lions. Wasn't impressed.
The Lions on Thursday night. I mean, Jared Goff is better than Love. But I don't dislike Love. I think Love got some game. This week picks against the spread. I got the Dolphins minus the 10.5. If they don't cover that one, boy, I'm taking that one. I'm taking that one all day. I got Houston plus the 1.5.
Oh, for real? CJ and them?
Taking CJ and them. I'm taking CJ and them. And I got Baltimore minus 3. Baltimore playing the Steelers. Yes, I'm taking Baltimore.
That Steelers defense steps up and that running game gets going. I don't know, but okay.
I mean, I see you got them same Houston in the 1.5. I see you watching them. Mm-hmm. You got KC in the 5.5 against the Vikes, and Carolina plus 9.5. Now that's a lot of points right there.
A lot of points
for Carolina. For the rookie, is the rookie starting? I mean, did you get that call?
They're getting the 9.5.
Sorry, hold on. Who the Panthers playing? The Lions? Oh, you got no faith in the Lions. You got no faith in the Lions.
Ooh, sounds like kind of a lot.
Ooh, Jared Goff.
If any kind of
Jared Goff, Campbell,
fumbles. That's a turnover fumble. Special teams. Point spread waiting to happen. In my opinion.
That's kind of disrespectful. That's kind of disrespectful to Jared Goff and.
Well, then run over him then.
Campbell.
Run over him then. Do it.
And your guy Gibbs, you don't think he's not ready to perform? Didn't their wide receiver, the big hit, didn't he come off of the suspension list? How am I having a brain fart of his name?
Jameson can practice.
Yeah,
he's practice. Okay.
He's off their he's off the suspension list.
Okay.
And you say, wow. Is this okay? Be honest now. I'm saying that's disrespectful to the Detroit Lions, but are you that confident in the Panthers or what?
No, I just think 9.5 is kind of a lot. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure the Detroit Lions have blowout capability, and I feel this game is going to come down to some type of miscue, either on special teams, or a pick six, or a fumble, scoop and score kind of thing, which pushes the point spread kind of in a weird direction. It might be.
That's pretty disrespectful, man. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's kind of disrespectful to those Detroit Lions. That's a little disrespectful, iffy. But anyway, fans, that's how it goes down. Each week we make our picks. And since I was winning in the picks early on when we start doing this, I was winning the picks regularly. I did the picks against the spread to give Cleveland a chance. Every week I could just dominate them in the pick segment. It got boring. So I added in the picks against the spread to kind of add some interest to it. And then I started dominating that area. And then so I added in the confidence picks. All of this just to give Cleveland a chance. Again, fans, give Cleveland a chance week after week. And so now we have our confidence picks that we do as well. So we have 3. We make our regular picks, our regular picks for the game. Then we do our picks against the spread segment. And I think I won all of these 3 columns last year.
You're not. I won 2 of the 3. We already went over that, but that's cool. We have this fresh new season of content with which to go forward with. So
look how quickly you try to turn the page and not look at last season.
Turn back. You can turn back to that one. It's not going to work in your favor. It's 2 for 3 for me.
I mean, we might have to, fans. I hear you calling. I hear you calling to revisit this one, fans. We're gonna might have to put up a post just to revisit who actually won these segments, because we see it. Cleveland's memory gets distorted sometimes. So we had the confidence picks this week. I got San Francisco 1 point, Detroit 2 points, Miami 3 points, Philadelphia 4 points, and KC 5 points. Cleveland also has KC 5 points, Miami 4 points, Washington 3 points. You got Washington. How? You going in with how? You got some confidence in Washington Commanders? Well, they are playing the Bears.
Disgusted with the Bears, yeah.
Buffalo. Who Buffalo playing this week?
Your Jacksonville Jaguars that you were all salivating over earlier.
Ooh, we putting a smackdown on them, huh? Oh, look at this. He got the Detroit Lions. He was hating on them earlier, but he got the Detroit Lions in his confidence.
I think they'll win the game, sure, by 9.5. That's a bit much.
Oh, so you little double dipping there, huh? A little double dipping there. Okay, all right. So that's our confidence picks, Cleveland. Our NFL supremacy rankings. They look eerily similar. Like almost like you was copying my homework. That's what it looks like. Because we got the Niners at number 1. The Eagles at number 2, KC at number 3. We both agree with Buffalo at number 4. And I have the Dolphins.
You sure do.
I have the Dolphins at the 5th best team in the NFL. I mean, did you just see what they did a couple weeks ago? They put. I
did just see what they did against the Buffalo Bills, against a team with Super Bowl aspirations, as opposed to the Chargers, the Jets, and the Broncos. I did see what they did against a team with Super Bowl aspirations. They lost by 28 points. 4 touchdowns.
Oh, wow. In Buffalo, one of the toughest places to play.
Oh, for real? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Okay, you're going to see. You got the Cowboys winning this. Did you have the Cowboys winning this week?
Hey, it's week 4. Supremacy rankings. I think the Cowboys are a better team than the Miami Dolphins right now.
So if there was a matchup, you're going with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
You don't believe that stuff. You don't believe that stuff yourself. You don't believe that. You don't believe. I mean,
unfortunately, we can't put them both on the field against each other right now next week. But
I mean. After they get smacked around by the San Francisco.
Okay, well, Cam, you know it's getting colder, right?
Again, see,
you're getting colder, right?
You're not paying attention because
you're not paying attention.
The Dolphins, 5 of the last 7 games are in South Florida for the Dolphins. They don't have to go to the cold.
Okay,
they don't, so. It's going to be those cold weather teams coming to them.
They have to go to Winterfell right now, though. I'm just saying. It's getting colder.
That's a non-issue. That's a non-issue. So my games of the week this week, fans. My games of the week. Not yours, not Cleveland's, not ESPN. My games of the week this week are Jaguars. See, I might have to add that we talked about the Texans and the Colts, the Titans and the Colts. I'm going to add that one to the list. That one's getting added to the list. The Titans versus the Colts. I'm adding that one to the list right now. As my game of the week. As one of my games of the week. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Buffalo Bills. That's it's a Bills plus 5 or Bills minus 5.5. I think that's going to be a good game. The Jacksonville Jaguars they're in a prove me state over there in London against their new fans. They're in a prove me situation where they have to prove to the rest of not only London but America that they are a playoff team. We had them coming into the season. They had expectations and they haven't lived up to them so far this season. And they're in a situation where they have to prove their expectations. They're in a show me situation right now. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Historically, Cleveland, this has been a slobber knocker. Let's throw the records out. Historically, this has been a slobber knocker. So the Ravens have to defend their 3-1 record. If they go 4-1, the Steelers go to 2-3. I mean, the Steelers, it's been looking bad for them already. That just puts them further behind the hole because even though that gives Ravens a solid footing in the division, although that'll assuming that the Bengals beat the Cardinals, the Steelers would be down there 2-3 with the Bengals, and we all know who we would take out a win in that division from that point on. But this is a big game for the Ravens to kind of take a stranglehold at 4-1 in this division, and the Steelers are trying not to let that happen. Again, this has historically been a slobber knocker, so that's going to be another good game. And more than likely, we're going to see this is going to be an NFL. This has the potential to be an NFL playoff game, whether it's a wild card or divisional playoff game. The Cowboys and the 49ers. Some people want to see if the 49ers can keep putting 30 points on the board. Some people are still amazed that Brock Purdy has only had one game where he started that they didn't put 30 points on the board. Some people are amazed by that. And if he puts up 30 points, can the Cowboys put up 30 points on the board? We don't know. Well, I don't think so. Can Dak put up 30 points on the board against a stout defense? Who'd you pick to win this game?
Pick the Niners to win it.
Yeah. Because why? Because Dak can't, because you don't have no confidence in Dak putting up 30 points against a stout defense, right?
Well, I mean, your guy Brock Purdy. I mean, as we discussed earlier, one of the top 7 quarterbacks in this league right now.
I'm glad you finally come around, though. I'm glad you finally come around. So that means that by you saying that, you're finally saying, I asked you what I asked you, week 10, week 11, week 12, week 13, 14, and 15, if you believe in Brock Purdy.
But Cam, with one caveat, though. If he don't win this game, I don't want to hear no more about him. No more.
No. That's no caveat.
I don't want to hear no more about him.
I asked you, you getting away from the point. Because I asked you again, week 9, week 10, week 11, week 12, week 13, week 14, week 15. Do you believe in Brock Purdy? Do you believe in Brock Purdy?
Can't. What I'm saying is, you convince me. He's convinced me with his play. I believe in Brock Purdy. Now, if he don't beat the Cowboys, now we're done.
I mean, that's a pretty. I have confidence in him beating the Cowboys.
Okay, cool.
I'm glad you finally come around, Cleavon. I'm glad you finally turned. So, what did it take the text that I sent you to show you?
I don't know. I'm thinking that might be an elbow game. That might be an elbow game too, as well. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what, you want to put something on that? How's that an elbow game? We both got the Cowboys. We both got we both had the 49ers in that game. There's no bet there.
Yeah, but I'm leaning towards the spread, and the Cowboys might be able to pull that off. It's 4.5 right now. What we got?
It's 4. It's 3.5.
3.5. Okay, if he gets to 4.5, yeah, I'll take him. Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's getting a 4.5. What is it right now?
And stay tuned. We're gonna get back to this on Friday and see if the spread gets up to 4.5. Well, I might have to take them boys.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Now, if the spread get to 4.5, we might have a conversation. But as it is right now, let's see what it is. Let's see if the spread is moved. I don't think it's moved, but let me check. I'm double checking right now to see if there's been any movement. Any movement? Is anybody more convinced in Brock Purdy than I am? And the Cowboys is still at 3.5.
Okay.
It's still, but fans, Cleveland has finally come around. It took them 8 weeks to come around on
fans,
Brock Purdy.
If Brock Purdy don't win this game, we done. I don't want to hear no more.
You see all the stuff he tried to put on it.
I don't
You
want to
see
hear
all
no more.
the.
I don't hear no more about Brock Purdy. You don't win this game.
You see how everything how he tried to put on it. Yeah, tell the truth. You wasn't aware that he put up 30 points in 8 of his 9 games.
That is so fabricated. It doesn't really mean anything, Cam. I mean, it's cool. I mean, it sounds cool, but no.
It sounds cool. No, that's facts. Would you rather have Warner or Parsons? What you
Micah
mean?
Parsons, bro. Would
Or
rather have
Warner?
Micah Parsons.
Or Warner? The linebacker?
Yeah.
From San. No.
It's not close. It's not close.
So I'll put it like this: Parsons one dude. The Niners got like 3 or 4 of them dudes. Okay. The Niners got like 3 or 4 of them dudes. So that's a difference there. It's not just one guy. SB. It's just not. It's not just.
That's
not
what
one
the question
guy.
says. Would you rather have Warner or Parsons? And the answer is Parsons. You'd rather have Micah Parsons.
So okay.
Fans, this is one of those times when Cam lets you know he's not with the rest of us, man. Why is this even a conversation?
Because
Parsons is quite possibly the second best defensive player in football. Because so far, no one gets it over Aaron Donald, but this guy is a close second.
But we've seen that you can run at Parsons, and this is exactly what I expect the Niners to do. I don't expect the Niners
to try that every once in a while, and it works like a couple of plays, like maybe for a half, and he just gets off that block and gets back to doing what he's doing.
I tell you what you're not doing.
They only do that in certain formations, and again, fans,
I tell you what you're not doing. You're not running the ball. You're not running the ball, Warner.
And he knows when it's coming, and he just avoids it.
And when he avoids it, he's taking himself out to play. That's what you're missing. When he tried to run
avoiding that extra block that you were talking about, and that's taking
off the ball. Yeah, just for argument's sake, I'm taking Warner.
Okay, just for argument's sake, just to be argumentative. Okay,
just for argument's sake.
You don't really believe that? You just trying to be argumentative.
Good question.
You got spiteful Canadians fans.
Good question.
Just to be on the other side of the conversation.
Good question though. That was a good question. So my games of the week, once again, fans: Jaguars versus Bills, Ravens versus Steelers, Cowboys versus Niners, and Titans versus the Colts. And I do have the Bills winning the game. I have the Ravens winning the game. I have the Niners beating the Cowboys. And I got the Colts with the rookie quarterback. With the Colts with the rookie quarterback upending the aforementioned Mike Vrabel, Derrick Henry led Tennessee Titans. Yes. Something else you want to say?
Yes, their leader is actually Ryan Tannehill. Their quarterback.
No, their leader
led them to an AFC.
He's along for the ride.
Playoffs 5 years in a row.
Oh my God, he's along for the ride. He's along. You talk about somebody along for the ride. All right, so yeah, fans, that's our NFL topics right now. It's NBA time. It's NBA action. NBA is fantastic, SB. So, with that being said, Cleavon, I want to run down. Well, let's talk real quick about the Dame trade. Now we got further clarification on the actual Dame trade. As we know, last week the Trailblazers traded Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for what was a 3-team trade. The Suns got Yusuf Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. The Bucks, as we know, got Dame Lillard. The Trailblazers got Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, the Bucks 29 first-round pick, and a swap in 28 and 30. The Bucks now have turned around. Or excuse me, the Trailblazers then turned around and traded Drew Holiday to the Boston Celtics for Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon, who they've been trying to get rid of for the last since they acquired him, essentially. So now the Celtics get Drew Holiday, and the Blazers get Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, DeAndre Ayton, Tamani Kamara, the Bucks 2029 first pick, and the 2028 and 2030 swaps. Cleveland, who won this trade?
Milwaukee Bucks.
When it breaks all down, Milwaukee Bucks won the trade because they get Dame?
Yeah.
Simply? You want to say the best player wins whoever gets the best player wins the trade? That's kind of your theory there?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
But given what he brings to the team and what they needed and their sense of urgency, for sure, they win the trade.
Do you like the trade? So I understand that he fits a role. They needed scoring. They needed, and most importantly, fourth quarter scoring. That's something that they lacked with Drew. However, you go from Drew, a defending guard, to Dame, a scoring guard. And again, we'll see how that works out, because it's not like, although they have Robin Lopez, who was arguably defensive player of the year last year, or he was on that level. He wasn't going to win it, but he was playing on that level, matching with Giannis, who is arguably defensive player of the year. That kind of erases some of Dame's lack of defense, right? At least now Dame, you can just funnel him to the hoop, and then you got one of these two guys to kind of help you out, where you don't have to lock somebody up. But that offensive scoring, and that guy being that guy, the Bucks get that guy, right? That's kind of your theory there.
Absolutely. They call him Logo Lillard, right? I mean, imagine how much he stretches the court for Giannis, like no one that he's ever played with has ever, been able to do. And like you said, they actually have Brooke and Robin on that team. So they got the Lopez brothers combined. And then, you throw Middleton in there, do a little bit of stuff, they're perfectly fine. It was the piece that they were missing. It is 100% up to them to deliver. But hey, if they're healthy, they should be there when it's chip time.
So we'll come back around to the Celtics part of it. But what do you think of you said last week what the Suns got? The Suns built the roster out with I think they got good depth. I thought Yusuf Nurkic is going to be adequate center for them. I told you I thought Grayson Allen is kind of, and I didn't like, I guess in the podium, they asked Grayson Allen about, they had media day the other day. They asked him about his dirty play and how does he feel that dirty play plays in the league, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, well, some of that was immaturity. It hasn't really happened since Duke, and I'm a different player now. I think Grayson Allen needs that edge. He needs to play on the edge to be effective in the NBA. You're not just going to come out there, Grayson, and play and be a 3-and-D guy and expect just your basketball play alone to get you to – you're not going to win any All-Star games. You're not going to any All-Star games. You have to play with an edge. I'm gonna get to my thoughts on the Boston. I'm gonna get to my thoughts on that one, SB. But that's not a bad point. That's not a bad point you make. What's your thoughts on Grayson Allen to the Suns, SB? Do you think that's a positive move, Cleveland? Let me know what you think. You already said you really didn't like Grayson Allen. He doesn't move the needle, right? Was that what you were saying last week?
No, I mean he fills in a little bit of depth, man. And when he says those things happened, a long time ago. I mean, ask Alex Caruso how long ago it happened. I mean, he's got a pattern of doing this. So there's a reason he always gets jacked up, like really, really quick. Like, hey, man, that's that guy doing it again, and he's gonna get hurt one
again. I think he has to play with that kind of feisty, gritty edge.
That's great. But again, like your guy Rodney Harrison, he crosses the line, pretty consistently. So that's why these things happen to him, and that's why he has that reputation.
Right. Nasir Little, I mean, and Keon Johnson. Keon Johnson was a forward with the Spurs who was playing pretty good a couple years ago. I think this for the Suns. I wasn't in a hurry as the Suns to get rid of DeAndre Ayton, but I thought he was going to give you 18 and 10 regardless of the situation. Your Yusuf Nurkic with those same minutes is going to give you 15 and 9, 15 and 8, and you can live with that. You're asking a little bit more from KD. The scoring isn't going to be a problem, but they get the big body in there. He's a little bit more gritty, more of a veteran who knows how to play more position rebounding, do more position rebound, play more defense. So I think I can live with that exchange, getting Grayson Allen and the combination of Nasir Little and Keon Johnson. I think that adds adequate depth to the Suns, and that's kind of what they were lacking last year. Right, and that's the point I was just making. I think these guys add depth to the Suns, and yes, that's bad for everybody else. I think the Suns is going to be a top 3 team in the West. I think the Suns are going to be, and we'll see if this now depth. They got Bol. They got a few other players to kind of round up their depth. I think that's. Again, they needed depth. They didn't have depth last year. Now they have some depth, and that's going to be a big move. The Portland Trailblazers, this is intriguing. The Portland Trailblazers get Malcolm Brogdon, a guard, to come off the bench and help these young guards play. Cleveland, I know you say these guys don't need mentors. Malcolm Brogdon could be a mentor for these young guys. I really believe so. Thanks for tuning in, Wonder. Appreciate it. Give us some feedback on share the show, leave us a comment. Like the show, leave us a comment. Where you tuning in from, Wonder? Let us know where you're tuning in from. I think Malcolm Brogdon can be a veteran leader for these young guards that are in the league. Young guards, Anthony Simons, your guy Scoot Henderson, Scoot Henderson and Shaden Sharp. He had some leadership there, if you will. The combination of DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams, it depends. Now, this really depends on where DeAndre hit. Where's he going? I could see it. I could see him getting moved, SB, but I think that's a good spot for him where they're not depending on him and he can still fill out that roster because they're not that Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons, they're not going to be hitting every night. Every night they're not going to be hitting. They're young players, so they're going to be on and off, right? So I think Brogdon being able to help even that situation out for those guys is a good spot for him. Brogdon, he was a rookie of the year. He was a rookie of the year with Indiana, right? He never really got his footing his 2 years in Boston. Whatever was going wrong with him in the front office, he never got his footing. So I just don't think he's a lead guard in the league. I think this is a good spot for him. Right. That's what I'm saying. I think this is a lead guard for him. What does he want? Is he going to be a lead guard somewhere? Does he want to go to a small town. Where's he going to go? Where's he going to go where he's the lead guard? This is a young team. This is a young up-and-coming team. I can see mixing your minutes in with Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons. You're going to get minutes because those young guys aren't going to be hitting every night. So you're going to get minutes. You can coach up the young guys. There's nobody over your shoulder telling you to do this and do that. You're going to be the veteran on the team. I think that's a good spot for him. DeAndre Ayton, Robert Williams. I think that can be a combination of a good backcourt. Robert Williams is more of a defender, rebounder. DeAndre Ayton, then he doesn't have to be that defender, rebounder, that he really wants to score more. I don't know how excited those young guards, including Shea Sharp, are going to be willing to just feed the posts every night. I don't know how excited they're going to be to do that. But DeAndre Ayton is there for them to feed the ball to, and at least they can get some assists, some easy assists feeding him. And they have Williams on the other side to kind of be the more defender, rebounder. He's not a mentor. I mean, well, we'll see. We'll see what's up. I mean, where does he want to go? Again, you give me an idea of where he can go to be a lead guard. Or do you send him do you send him to Milwaukee? Can he be coming off the bench there because to help Dame out in that backcourt? I mean, can he be a spot there? I'd take him over James Harden in LA with the Clippers. If it was up to me, they were trying to get him already. So yeah, but what do the Clippers send to Portland to make that work out? I don't know. So DeAndre Ayton, Williams, I think that's a serviceable front court. I'm not mad at that front court, DeAndre Ayton with Robert Williams. Can Williams stay healthy? I think that's a serviceable front court to match with Shaedon Sharp, Anthony Simons, and Scoot Henderson. Cleveland, what's your thoughts on this new look Trailblazers?
Yeah, the Robert Williams move makes sense. The DeAndre Ayton move, a little bit of a question mark. I think it was just part of the trade package, the 3-team deal. Certainly he is not going to be the focal point of this offense with that backcourt. So, is he going to pout and cry like he did in Phoenix, or is he going to, do what they asked for him to do? So depends on his relationship with Chauncey. Depends on what he really wants, but he's proven to be a very moody superstar. I won't even call him a superstar. A very moody star.
Call him a superstar.
Yeah, where, like when he wants to, this is my time. Yeah, I like this matchup and it's favorable. I'm here in Miami and had a nice meal, before and, ready to get down. Gets to Utah, they're not giving the ball enough. He just gets very disengaged very quickly. It's not what number 1 picks in the draft are supposed to do. They're supposed to dominate. It's not to this point, so. We'll see how he feels about not being, again, the focal point of the offense, because he's not going to be again. So,
yeah, you make a point there. Chauncey's going to have to talk to him about that. And again, if they just feed him, if the guards make it a point, Scoot Henderson, as an example, Jeremy Grant is a great defender there, and he's another kind of a glue guy that can help that squad out. I don't expect Jeremy Grant to be starting. He may start some games in front of Shaedon Sharp. Shaedon Sharp is kind of up and down, but the backcourt is solidified. Grant can start at that 3 off the bench or fill in for Williams, when he misses some games. But if Scoot Henderson, for example, he should have 8 assists a night, just dumping it into Ayton. He should have 8 assists. 2 times a quarter, that's 8 assists a night. Every night he should have 8 assists, just dumping it into our guy DeAndre Ayton. And does Ayton, if you want more points than that, Ayton, you want more than that 16 points, you're gonna have to get the rebound and dunk it. Do that. Get the rebound and dunk it, and there you go. Over Shaedon Sharp, I could see that, and bring Shaedon Sharp off the bench for some high flying, erratic play. I could see that, and that makes you got Robert Williams. To your point, SB, you got Robert Williams And Jeremy Grant, like that's a good front court right there. DeAndre Ayton, if we can get like somebody light a fire in his ass, that's a very serviceable front court. Then you got Scoot doing his thing and Anthony Simons. Like that's not a bad team. That is not a terrible team, I don't think. What's your thoughts on that, Cleveland? Is that a playoff team? Is playoff going to stretch? Playoff in the stretch in the West. Playoff in the West, that's a stretch. But that's not – yes. They're not a pushover. Let's say that. They won't be a pushover every night.
That's fair to say.
And I venture to say that's a better team than what they started with last year with Dame on the squad. I venture to say that's a better.
They've certainly got more pieces. I mean, and with the draft picks included, and the improvement of Simons and Sharp, it's a better team on paper, but they're not a playoff team.
Okay, that's fair enough. Maybe I got a little carried away. But no, in the West, that's a stretch, obviously. But I think that's a good team. Let's look at the Celtics.
Very true.
That's a bit far. SB. That's a bit far. I wouldn't say he has no heart. That's a bit far. Maybe maybe it's a lion with no roar. I don't know. That's kind of the same thing, isn't it? No, I would say no heart. The situation has to be optimal for him to perform. I'll leave it at that. And he needs somebody to cater him and rub his back and pat him on the head and that type of stuff. So, nonetheless, that's Chauncey's job. Chauncey, what can you get out of Ayton, Chauncey? And we'll know how that relationship goes. But looking at this Boston side of the move, now Boston has made some peculiar moves this offseason. Letting Robert Williams go, who's not only a fan favorite, he was a defensive representative. He showed a lot of heart on the defensive side of the ball. I thought that was a bad move. They let go of Brian. I want to say Williams, but what was the kid they sent to Dallas? Jeez, I'm having a brain fart. The guy who was talking junk to your guy in Miami, Butler. Should we call Butler Slick Rick Butler now? Butler come out with the straight hair. Wow. Who's my man who was talking junk with Butler in the game last night, and then Butler lit his ass up? The big dude, power forward, Grant. Yeah, Grant Williams, right?
Grant Williams. Yeah, the other Williams. Yeah, Robert Williams. Not let Grant Williams go.
Yeah, Grant Williams. They sent him to Dallas. I mean, they couldn't get rid of him soon enough. I think they're going to miss him though. They're going to miss that toughness. They're going to miss Robert Williams' defense, and they replaced him with Kristaps Porzingis, who does not want to be in the paint. He does not want paint on his shoes. He does not want to be in the paint. 7'3". He wants to shoot threes and roll to the hoop. The pick and roll, he wants to roll to the hoop every time. He does not want paint on his shoes. I didn't understand that move. I did not understand that move because Kristaps Porzingis never. He's a guy full of expectations. There was expectations he didn't live up to in New York. There was expectations he didn't live up to in Dallas. Now he goes to Boston, who's in the championship mode, and you think you're going to get the most out of this guy? Terrible move. I thought Boston was smarter than that. I thought Brad Stevens was smarter than that. Unless I just don't know basketball, I think that was a horrible move. And it may be that I don't know basketball, but that was a horrible move, Cleveland. Your thoughts on that? Just those moves there. And we're going to get to the
transition. They decided that other philosophy didn't work. They tried it. They got to the finals once. Didn't think it was replicatable. The move that I am interested to see how it works out is I think the Drew Holiday replacing Marcus Smart move is, I think that's epic.
So Drew is a better offensive player than Marcus Smart, right? Drew is they're about the same in defensive player. Like we'll say they're equal.
And then leadership. So it's an improvement all the way around.
It's an improvement all
in every way.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a better leader and a better defender than Marcus Smart?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, okay. So Marcus Smart won Defensive Player of the Year.
Right. Has Drew won Defensive Player of the Year?
He has not.
Okay.
But he is constantly in the conversation of one of the best defending point guards in the league.
Oh, fair enough.
You don't lose a whole lot with that.
You don't lose a whole lot, correct.
You get an NBA champion. You get one of those, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leaders in the community type people. You get one of those people.
Marcus Smart was the same thing. Marcus Smart was
talking about those mentors and all that. Yeah, he's all that, man.
Marcus Smart
checks all the boxes. So he checks all the boxes and he scores more points.
He checks all.
Where's that right here?
So that was an easy no-brainer. I mean, that was a great fill-in, if you will. You get rid of Marcus Smart, and this was looking back at it now as for 3 months or for whatever it was, 2.5 months. You get rid of Marcus Smart. You don't have that leader on the defensive side of the ball. You don't have that. You don't have that score from that position. That was a great recovery position. I'll grant you that. And I'll grant you that was a good, adequate replacement. But I think you're discounting the heart that Marcus Smart brought to that squad. Drew's going to have to play up to that level. Not saying that he can't.
Cool.
Not saying that he can't. He's going to have to play up to that level.
Yeah, I know, Cam. And this is where you always kind of confuse the two sports, man. Heart and dedication and effort is cool.
It counts.
It counts. It just doesn't count as much in hoop as it counts in football. Skill and ability eventually went over. Man.
SB, I don't know Porzingis, man. He doesn't do anything for you. Again, you get rid of Robert Williams. You get rid of Grant Williams. Porzingis doesn't fill that void. Porzingis doesn't fill that void.
Cam. That's not how championships are won.
With defense? You don't win championships with defense?
Cam, I know you like those guys that show a lot of effort and die for loose balls and gives your all and set the hard screen and stuff. It's not how NBA championships are won.
Drew is much better than Smart, minus a headache.
Exactly.
Again, that's an adequate replacement. If you made
More
that
than
trade,
adequate replacement,
if you made the trade, Drew Holiday, except for
he might not win defensive player of the year, but he might be the second best defending point guard in the league. So I mean, sure. That was great. And again, why you win that award? Because you're diving on the ground, getting loose balls and blocking shots and stuff and running really hard. But sometimes we just need buckets, man.
That was – if you made that trade 1-for-1, nobody –
You're upset.
Nobody could be mad at you.
And that other team got Drew Holiday, you're upset.
What do you mean? You're upset? No. I disagree. Now you're looking for something specific.
We just went over this. What are you disagreeing about?
You're saying
you're on the basketball and on your team. I used to have Marcus Smart. Now I got Drew Holiday. I'm happy. If you were on the basketball, I used to have Drew Holiday. Now I got Marcus Smart. I'm unhappy. We did not make a good trade. Who signed off on this?
Okay, so you guys say that's all the way around. Man, I'm not buying Porzingis. Stop it, man. Stop trying to convince me of this. I'm not buying Porzingis being a factor. He hasn't been a factor And again, New York wasn't his first place. Were they were the first place. He got drafted to New York. He got drafted to New York. Did he live up to expectations with the guru Phil Jackson? Did he live up to expectations then? No, he did not. Did he live up to expectations in Dallas with the other foreigner, Luka? No, he did not. He got off in Washington, who was a 13 and 50 team, and somebody had to score points. Him and Kuzma. And you're going to try to sell me that he's going to be as a fourth option in Boston. He's going to do something. Come on, stop it.
He just said he had to do a whole bunch. Him and Kuzma. He didn't have to do a whole bunch in Boston, man.
No, there's expectations.
Ball's going to be in Jalen Brown's hands most of the time.
There's expectations in Boston. Is my point, Cleveland. There's expectations in Boston. Is what I'm saying. Pull up the stats for Washington. This is exactly what I'm saying.
He is not putting on a backpack and carrying this team anywhere, and he knows.
I know.
And for the first time in his career, no one is asking him to do that, which is the point SB23 is making.
Did you want 18, 21 and 8 from him in Dallas? Could Dallas have used the 21 and 8? Tell me that. Answer that question for me, SB. Could Dallas has used 21 and 8 from a 7-3 power forward in Dallas? Could Luka have benefited from a guy giving him 21 points, 8 rebounds?
Okay, hey Cam, look. You're taking this too far right now. I mean,
how am I taking it too far? I'm telling you, when the guy was put in a position to have expectations, he did not perform. That's what I'm telling you. So now everybody was saying that he's going to do something in Boston. I don't get it. I'm not buying it.
The East is a foregone conclusion, man. It's Milwaukee's to lose. So you're just wasting your breath for nothing, man.
Well, it's going to be Milwaukee and Boston. That's what it comes down to. But I think Boston. I think Boston has weakened themselves enough because Boston, that front court cannot keep up with front court can't keep up with Milwaukee. So now you're going to put who you going to put?
Milwaukee's front court is not that devastating. They're
Giannis and Lopez against who? Porzingis? Good luck with that. Who else you gonna throw out there with Porzingis? Again, you guys want to claim Porzingis to be this unicorn doing stuff for you. Again, SB. What did he do as a second option? SB? You had expectations from him as a second option. Did he live up to your expectations in Dallas as a second option? That's what I want to know. Answer that question for me. When there was expectations, there was no expectations in Washington. So don't look at Washington. There was zero expectations in Washington. Washington was going nowhere. Washington was throwing people out on the court just to run around and play minutes. Him and Kuzma were not leading that team. Him and Kuzma, and just like Jordan Poole is going to average 25 points this year. But you saw when there was expectations what Jordan Poole was going to give you. So in Washington, he's going to have the free run, right? He's going to average 27 points. And he's going to be looking at somebody who's going to be like, oh, maybe we should have got that guy. Maybe he's grown up. But no, it's because somebody's going to have to score at some point, right? Somebody's going to have to play along Kuzma. I don't know. What happened? I don't know. Maybe I don't know basketball. Help me out. I mean, what expectation does a fourth option have? Like, they're going to expect him to rebound and score from the low post, aren't they?
No.
You don't think so? Are they going to expect some rebounds and block shots from a 7-3 guy?
Some, not the numbers that you're predicting that they're putting on him. They're not putting that kind of pressure on him, man.
So it's going to be. So are you expecting Drew Holiday now to go from what is Drew Holiday's career average? Let me just for shits and grins, guys. I got to look this up. So go ahead, Cleveland. Talk to me. Tell me more of how I'm wrong about my assessment of this Boston. This new.
Yeah.
Boston.
So it starts with Tatum, then it goes to Jalen, and then they expect Drew to kind of pick up the slack, and then oh, by the way, there's that 7'3" guy just roaming around. And if you don't have somebody at least 6'8", 6'9", kind of harassing them a little bit, shots pretty wide open, especially when they swing the ball around and it's the fourth guy. Yeah, that's a problem. Not so much of a problem that they can beat Milwaukee, but still a problem.
Stretch block shots. He's not gonna block. He gonna get 1 or 2 blocks a game. I'll say that
1 or 2 blocks a game at 7 foot 3 inches tall. Okay, 1 or 2 blocks. Okay.
I mean, what are you expecting? Are you expecting?
I'm not saying he's going to be a fly swatter out there, but wow, really? You don't think he's going to block shots at 7 foot 3 inches tall?
He's gonna be 1 or 2 shots. So Drew Holiday, are you expecting Drew Holiday to go from? In last year, his career average is 16, 4, and 6, 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. In 2022 to 2023, last season, he averaged 19, 5, and 7. Above all, he was above average in everything, above his career average and everything. So you're running a 3-guard option. Well, him and a forward option. Jason Tatum. He's going to bring in the ball handling, so Jason Tatum and Brown don't have to handle the ball. That is an excellent move. That is an upgrade, definitely, from Marcus Smart. Him being able to handle the ball and create offense for those. As I always tell you, Cleveland, your guard. You want your guard to be able to get easy shot for your scores. He's going to be able to do that. You come in, and I guess this is where your point is, SB. When if he's able to create some easy buckets for Porzingis, then it's all a plus. But who's down in the paint to defend a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo? Who's down there to defend a guy like Joel Embiid? Who's down there to even defend a guy like Paolo Banchero, all in the Eastern Conference? Who's down there to do that? There's nobody down there to do that, and that's what I'm saying. Because you can't count on your guy, the unicorn, to do any of that. Where am I wrong?
Yeah, you're reading too much into this, man.
How am I reading too much into this?
You're thinking this. You're thinking this too far out, man. That's not going to come down to all that, man. Straight up.
So you guys want to look at his numbers with Washington. He averaged 23 points with Washington, 22 points with Washington 2 years ago. He spent some time in Toronto. I forgot about that. In Dallas, he was 20. In New York, his third year in the league, he was 22 points. Porzingis, it says. Dallas, he was 20 points a game. The most rebounds he averaged was total rebounds a game. The most rebounds he averaged was 9.5 in Dallas. In Dallas, he was 20-9. But that was the most he averaged. That was in 2020. So I don't know. I don't know that solidifies, at least with the two Williams. Even though Williams was as tall as you or I, at least he was big enough to put a body on a defender and kind of intimidate somebody a little bit. Is not in the post. That's why he went to see the dream. Well, he needed to see the dream because he needed to work on his low post game. He was doing everything in transition. Exactly, he was doing everything in transition. So, but defensively, and offensively, who you got the unicorn keeping up with Giannis on in transition? You got.
No, I already said that Milwaukee wins these. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I was talking to SB. SB, where you chiming in from, bro? I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate your content every week, man. I appreciate your content every week. Where you chiming in from, SB? Let the fans know where you coming in from. We got Denver in the house earlier, but where you chiming in from, SB? And I don't know. You selling Boston? Are you out in the Northeast? Are you got a shamrock on your hat? Is that what's going on here? Because you pushing the Celtics, you pushing the Celtics pretty tough. So I don't know. It's an interesting move. Trading Dame, I think Portland actually a better squad. The Bucks get the score, the fourth quarter score that they needed. The Celtics in turn. You guys convinced me that Drew Holiday is an adequate replacement for Marcus Smart. I still think they lost their heart and soul. Cleveland want to crack jokes about him diving on the floor, playing tough defense, getting the crowd excited. I think that counts. Yeah, I know what this is. All right, meanie middle school. Appreciate you chiming in, bro. Appreciate you chiming in. James Harden, no show on media day, but he showed up at training camp in Colorado. Do you foresee how long does Harden start the season in the Sixers uniform?
Starts out in that Sixers uniform, but eventually he ends up with the Clippers. So just looking forward to that.
I don't want him with the Clippers. I don't want him with the Clippers. I don't want to see him with the Clippers. John Morant will be allowed to practice and travel with the team during his 25-game suspension. Do you agree with that move? Do you not agree with that move? Is it even a suspension if he's able to practice and travel with the team?
It was C. It was the last answer. Yes. No, it's not really a suspension if you can just do all the stuff, just not playing the game. That's weird. That's not really.
I can tell you exactly why they do this. So I can tell you exactly why this is being done. This is being done, Cleveland. You don't want to buy into the mentor theory. You don't want to buy into the mentor theory. But this is being done to keep. Yeah, I see you rolling your eyes. The fans see you rolling your eyes. But this is why he's being allowed to travel with the team and practice with the team, because is better suited for him to be around the team than out kicking it with his homeboys until January 1.
Okay, that's not a suspension. Why you just say you just can't play in the games? Everything else, but just not playing the games. I mean, that's weird. Yeah.
He says moonlighting as a basketball whisperer. Well, we appreciate you for chiming into the Voice of the Fans podcast. Cleveland needs you sometime. Cleveland needs somebody to have his back, because I just be crushing them with this logic every week. So Cleveland needs a whisperer. He needs to be in that team surrounding again. So he's not out there kicking it with his.
Okay, cool, man. All right, man. Why don't you just put a thing in his mouth, man?
A pacifier in his mouth?
A pacifier in his mouth, man.
No.
Just keep having him and come sit next to me, son, and learn the game. No, man, we're way past that, man.
Yeah, Derrick Rose says he's not having it.
6-7 years in his career, man. No, you're riding around waving guns 2 times. No.
Again, that's why they're saying no. Okay, come on in, bro. Just come on and ride with us.
Come on, man.
Come on and ride with us. That's what they're telling.
Lean on me. No, man. No.
That's exactly what they're telling them. I don't know why you want to argue that.
Up or don't.
What's that?
It's a straighten up or don't, man. It's not suspension if you can just do all the stuff but not playing the game. That's not a suspension. Why don't you just say you can't play any games? That's fine.
I mean, playing in the game, practicing, but not playing, practicing and not being able to play. I mean, that does
practice. You can come to the home games. You can come to the away games. You can do all the team stuff. You just can't play in the game.
That hurts. That hurts. He putting in work, but he can't play. With that, how that does benefit the squad, though, is it kind of they get to feel it. It'll lessen when he actually is allowed to play. Like he'll be able to come in running.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
he'll hit the ground running.
That's cool. That's nothing like a suspension, but okay.
It's true. I mean, it does benefit.
It's not quite the Ron Artest suspension, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah. Suspensions have different degrees, clearly.
They're trying to treat this with kids.
Yeah, with kiddie gloves. Yeah,
handle this situation with clear
generation. Yeah,
exactly. But yes, let's keep them around. What do they say? Let's just keep them close to us, right? That's what this situation is.
Okay.
Kawhi says he doesn't sit out for load management. He doesn't know where that misunderstanding started from.
Okay.
Did you hear that? No response to that?
Yeah. No response to that. There's no nothing to see here. Clear the area. Mm-hmm.
There you go. Great point, SB. It's an intervention for one of the league's brightest stars.
Call it that then. Don't call it a suspension.
That's what it is. LeBron says the Lakers are AD's team. Is he being truthful, or is that trying to some coaching and
he's 100% being truthful? He's like in his 20th year. Like, yeah, I'm ready to pass it on. And I think that he's
but that sounds like
it, he's worthy of it, but he's got to stay healthy and do it. But yeah, it should have been passed like last year.
Like in the 4x1 relay when they're trying to hand the baton off and it just ain't hand off properly, and they end up running up on the guy running the third leg, runs up on the guy with the fourth leg, and it's all confused. That's what the Lakers are going through right now. That's exactly what that sounds like. It sounds like they just can't. He can't get the handoff quite properly. He can't get the handoff quite right. Exactly right, SB. He's being wishful. That's wishful thinking. So yeah, he's trying to pass it off, but AD didn't stick his arm all right. He didn't stick the right arm out, so he don't know how to pass it off. Yes, it's being hand off. All right, fans. Here's the moment you guys have come. NBA is a hot topic. NBA is fantastic. I'm gonna have to incorporate that NBA fantastic lines into our opening. But Cleveland, here are my top storylines coming into the NBA season. You tell me where I'm wrong. Here are my top 10 storylines coming into the 2023-2024 NBA season. Here you go right now, Cleveland. The Bucks and Celtics race for number one. Like that has to be, with this recent Dame development, that has to be the number one story in the NBA. The Suns development, how they take they get rid of DeAndre Ayton. They got these new players coming in there. They got more depth to their squad. KD, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. How do they take off with a full offseason together? That's story number 2. Number 3, the health of the Los Angeles Clippers. The health of the Los Angeles Clippers. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, Terrence Mann. How do these guys stay healthy? Visa Zubac. How do these guys stay healthy, and how do they go into the season? Story number 3. Story number 4. All the way down to number 4. Can the Denver Nuggets defend their title? Or was that a one and done? That's a big story in the NBA, Cleveland. I hope you got your notes out. Tell me where I'm wrong. My number 5 story in the NBA, we touched on it already. The Trailblazers. Maybe this might be a little high. I was thinking the Trailblazers as I was thinking this through, thinking the Trailblazers really they could be pushing. Are they a play-in tournament? If not the playoffs, are they a play-in? Is this a play-in team, the Trailblazers? That's what I want to see. Are the Trailblazers with this mix of players? Is this a play-in tournament type team? This new mix of Trailblazers. Cleveland, you got to tell me where I'm wrong. All right, that's story number 5. Story number 6 in the NBA 2003. Hey, you're looking like you're confused over there. These are facts. These are great storyline for the 2023-24 NBA season. The Warriors with Chris Paul. How this team mixes and messes, Cleveland. We got to talk about it. How this works out. Way down at number 7, Cleveland. Way down. Excuse me. What number is this? Way down at number 7 is this missed handoff with the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron trying to hand it off to AD. AD got the wrong handout. Can they pass the baton? We don't know. I mean, is AD going to fumble the handoff and then it goes to Austin Reeves? How is this going to go? We don't know yet. Number 8 story in the NBA, Cleveland, this season's top storylines. Victor Wembanyama. His debut in the NBA. How does this go? Or do they approach the play-in tournament? How does this go? Number 9 story in the NBA, Cleveland. I couldn't decide which one, so I kind of lumped them in together. The Houston Rockets. The new coach, new talent out there, new Fred VanVleet. What does this team do? This should be a playoff team based on talent alone. But what do they actually do? / OKC Thunder. Does OKC Thunder, do they make a move to where they're one of the top teams in the Western Conference? Do they make a move? Do they make a move where they're one of the top teams in the Western Conference? Because they were healthily, they were in the playoffs last year. How does Shea, Josh Giddey, your boy from Gonzaga, the 7-footer, I'm having a brain fart, how does he mesh with another full season?
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren, how do they make their leap? Do they make another leap? And the number 10, I can't believe this is number 10, but this is another big story of the Western Conference and NBA. Do we get a full season from Zion Williamson? Do we get a full? That's the number 10 story in the NBA, Cleveland. That's way down deep in number 10. That tells you there's a lot of stuff going on in the NBA. Where am I wrong, Cleveland? What did I miss? Where am I wrong? Go ahead.
Victor Wembanyama is the number 2 story in the NBA. Number 3 is what is going to happen in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid and James Harden.
Ooh, I don't have. I was kind of James Harden out. I was kind of James Harden out. That's why he didn't. I was kind of James Harden out, and I don't think. Not only was I James Harden out, I don't think. I mean, they're in best case scenario. Where are they?
We don't know. That's the whole point, Cam. It's a saga. It's a soap opera. So, and until it gets resolved, it has ramifications all over the league. And best believe that dude coming from France is a bigger story than the 7 or 8 that you had him at. No less than 2.
Wow. So wait, hold on. Back up. You just trying to slam everything I had.
No, I just put it in perspective as far as how the NBA is going to play itself out. Victor Wembanyama at number 8 is crazy. That's not even close to a thing.
I mean, there's so much going on in the NBA, though.
Yeah, that's cool. But so is Victor Wembanyama coming to the league. That's the second biggest story without question.
That's bigger than can the defending champs defend their title? That's big.
Quick question. Can I get a 60-second to
go ahead, chew me up. Go ahead, do your thing. I gave you 10 hot storylines, and you telling me
marinate on this. I will be right back, my dude. Marinate on this. I'll be right back to explain to you why you're wrong. Okay?
Okay, go ahead, do your thing. Fans, I think that was a solid list, fans. Tune in and let me know. Let me know what you think of my top 10 list. Let me know what you think of my let me know what you think of my top 10 list. I don't think Victor Wembanyama is huge, yes, but I don't think that's bigger than LeBron and AD. I don't think that's bigger than Chris Paul and the Warriors. It may be bigger than the Trailblazers. Oh, I'll buy that. I don't think it's bigger than the Bucks and the Celtics race for number one in the East. It's again bigger than the Trailblazers. Okay, so it moves up to number 6. It's not bigger in my opinion, fans. Where am I wrong? Because I don't think Victor Wembanyama, Cleveland has that as number 1. Number 3 is James Harden. I was just kind of James Hardened out, to be honest with y'all. I thought about it. I was just James Hardened out. Again, with James Harden, I don't think the Sixers. I think they're out of the mix. They're not. They're 3rd or 4th in the Eastern Conference, but I think the Eastern Conference is the Bucks and the Celtics have taken 2 steps ahead. The in-season tournament. The in-season tournament, you gotta.
So sorry.
Those are a thing. The in-season inaugural tournament, yes, those are a thing. Yes, you're right about that. But we gotta see how that works out. I didn't buy my tickets to Vegas quite yet. I don't know about that. The 65-minute game policy. That's a good point. That's actually a great point. But is that bigger? Is that bigger than Zion SB? Is that might be bigger than Houston and OKC's growth?
So Cam,
go ahead, break it down.
They have said that Victor Wembanyama is the greatest NBA prospect since who?
I mean, since LeBron, yeah.
It's LeBron James.
Oh boy.
And before that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, man. So how could that possibly not be?
Because we know
of the season.
We know regardless of what
we don't know anything about what he's doing.
We know he's not elevating the San Antonio Spurs to a top 4 seed in the West. We know that. There's no question about that.
Playoffs? Is he going to be tip jamming after shots from 3-point range? I mean, what are we talking about here? We don't know.
Hold on. Let's introduce Young Pavy to the show. Young Pavy, where in the world are you?
I'm in DC.
You're in DC. What's going down, Mr. World Traveler? Now we add World Traveler to the list. He got stamps on his passport now.
Not too many, bro. Just a few. Not too many.
Just a few is all you need, man. Go ahead. Thanks for chiming in, Jay. Thanks for chiming in, Pavy.
Of course. No, but I'm here because I'm helping my homie Scott cover the Bears game.
Okay.
So that's why I'm in DC, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't think of any better reason to go to DC than cover the Bears game.
To be fair, I also haven't been here since I was like 11 years old. So like, whatever. Go see the sights of the city, whatever.
What's the weather like out there?
It's warm. It was like 75 today.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. No humidity this time of year. I mean, yeah, I know Scott. That's his grind covering the Bears, but oh my goodness, it's a stinky job. All right, Pavy. So I need your feedback. I just ran down top storylines of the 2023-24 NBA season. I'm gonna run them down real quick for you, and Cleveland's chewing me up right now. Let me know where you think I'm right or where you think I'm wrong. Cleveland think my list is messed up, but here's the top 10 storylines heading into this season. The number one, the Bucks and Celtics race for number one in the East. I have that as the number one story. Number two, the Phoenix Suns development. Now they got some depth. Where can they finish in the Western Conference? Number three, the Clippers' health. Obviously, Kawhi, Paul George, Russell Westbrook.
Not really a storyline.
I mean, it remains a storyline. It remains a storyline. If they can't stay healthy, I mean, they're gonna have a shitty season. If they stay healthy, who knows? Will they ever maximize what this team is supposed to be?
Is this in order? Is this like in order of what you think is like most?
This is 1 through 10. My top 10 storylines. This is my top 10 storylines.
Right.
You can get at me however you want.
That's fine.
Number 4. Can the Denver Nuggets defend their title?
You got that at 4?
I got that at 4. Can the Denver Nuggets defend their title? Listen to the whole list. I'm listening. Number 5. Now, admittedly, Cleveland convinced me to lower this one and to raise one of them up. But number 5, I have it. Number 5, the Trailblazers' growth with all the moves that the Trailblazers, all the moves that the Trailblazers have made, I believe this might be a playing team right now. The Trailblazers might be.
I don't disagree with that. I think them being a storyline is a little. I don't know about all that, but I do agree that they probably can be a playing team though. I think that it's possible.
That was better than what Dame did. You had the Trailblazers going into the season last year.
Yeah,
I think that's a storyline.
I just don't think it's that much of a storyline because I feel like there are more enticing things in the NBA than what's going on in Portland post Dame.
Okay.
I think there are more enticing things in the league even when Dame was there, but definitely now that he's gone.
Okay, I got some more storylines. Number 6, Warriors and Chris Paul mix.
I'd raise that up before the Blazers thing.
Okay, fair enough. LeBron and AD, we mentioned, we gave the correlation is, when you're watching track in the 4x1 relay, LeBron is coming around the third leg and trying to hand off the baton to the fourth, to the finish leg. Yeah. He's trying to hand off to AD, but AD got the wrong handout. So the handoff ain't going too smooth right now. So I got the LeBron and AD health right now as the number 6 story. Number 7 story I have, then Cleveland convinced me that this is kind of low. Victor Wembanyama debut in the NBA.
Yeah, you got the Blazers over that?
I had the Blazers. I did have the Blazers.
And you got the Clippers help over that?
I had the Clippers help over.
Yeah, tripping, brother. They
Yeah,
got to be top 5.
That's exactly what Cleveland says. Number 8, I got Houston and OKC. Houston and OKC, both of these two teams. Where does OKC grow take the next step in their team and their ascension? And then the Houston Rockets. I got the Houston Rockets. They should be in the playoffs just on talent alone.
The playoffs or the play-in?
The playoffs. The Houston Rockets should be in the playoffs just on talent alone.
So they should be a top 6 seed.
They should be 6 seed. They should be a top
6 seed.
Yeah, they should be at least a 6 seed. Yes,
they should be the 6 seed.
With Ime Udoka at the helm, on talent alone.
Stop.
You disagree?
No, hold on, wait. Nuggets.
Okay.
Memphis.
Okay.
Clippers.
I'm
like, do you agree with me?
The Suns, yeah, the Suns, yeah.
The Suns,
yeah. Sacramento.
T-Wolves. Okay, all right, fine. Kings.
Sacramento. Okay, yep. Sacramento.
Lakers.
Ooh, there. Okay, that's 6 right there. That's
Thunder.
6 right there. Ooh, you're pushing them down. Okay, go ahead.
Pelicans. Timberwolves.
They're gonna be a top 6 seed.
Wow. Hovering around the 6th seed.
They're not gonna hover anywhere near the 6th seed, brother. They're not gonna hover. They're gonna hover around the 11th and 12th. That's what they're gonna do.
Ooh.
They're gonna hover around 35 games, 35 to 38 games.
So it may make no difference on the team.
That's not no different though.
Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, they make no difference.
No, but wouldn't that be a 15-game improvement?
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Because then they win like 18 games
18 games,
last year.
Yeah,
it'd be 20-game improvement. Now that's I mean, if you can actually, now that's a 20-game improvement. If you can improve by 20 games, you did what you were supposed to do.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My last storyline, I was James Harden out. So James Harden and the 76ers, they didn't make the list because I'm thinking with or without James Harden, like the Sixers, I think their window is closed. So
I disagree with that, but continue.
My last storyline was will we get a full season from Zion? Will we get a full season from Zion? I think that was my last storyline. That was my number 10 storyline. So you two go ahead. Where was I wrong? And what did I miss? Most importantly, which storyline did I miss?
I think the Grizzlies. I don't. You don't have anything about the Grizzlies. I think that's I think just like the Josh situation. Also, them bringing in Marcus Smart. I think you missed that.
But what do you? I mean, is that a storyline? No, I mean the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies. They're going to be a 3 or 4 seed. Like that. I don't think that's.
I don't know if everybody thinks that though.
I mean, they were the 2 seed last year.
Yes, but they lost in the first round. So I think that some people kind of like. I think that some people didn't really give. I think some people gave too much credence to what the Lakers did and didn't really realize the fact of like Steve Adams wasn't there. Brandon Clark had an ACL. Well, no. Brandon Clark had a Achilles injury. Achilles injury.
Yeah.
And then you look at this year, obviously with the stuff that's been going on with Ja in the offseason, like Ja want to be King Von, pull out guns every day. And him being suspended for like 25 games, but again, they still and then the Dylan Brooks thing. I think Memphis became so much of like a show off the court and being talked about for things that they did off the court that people kind of forgot that this was a really good basketball team last season.
Yeah, they were a good bit. So do you agree? So Ja's suspension, he's allowed to travel with the team and participate in team activities. He just can't play in the games. Do you agree with that suspension?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do a criminal activity. Like he didn't do anything wrong. Like he didn't break the law. It's just he probably misrepresented the league, but he didn't break a criminal law. Like he's not like a felon or something like that. He didn't really do anything wrong. He just did something that wasn't the most favorable in the eyes of the league. So yeah, sure. And then also if like Ja's one of your young stars and you care about the future of the league, I would hope you take him on the road with you. You want to leave him at the crib?
That was my point. That's what I'm saying. They're bringing along. Yeah. You want to go kick it with your boy? So yeah, one of our viewers said it was just a intervention more than a suspension. It was a little intervention for the young fella than it was a suspension, which made sense. So you would move Vic up. Wembanyama, that's a no.
I would move Vic up. I would take the Blazers completely off the list. I would move.
Really?
I would move from being at Clippers media day and seeing and just remembering the level of coverage that was there. Obviously, when PG and Kawhi first came, like that first season, with the level of excitement it was, and being there this year when it was really like 10 people there. Like
really,
most of the seats weren't even full because the Lakers would have the media day at the same time. So it was like people would come a little bit early and then everybody left and went to them. It was maybe 12, 13 people that were still left there. So I think the Clippers got to go way down. Like even Nick Batum talked about not the lack of media coverage, but the lack of excitement around that the fans and the media are giving the team this season and how that could possibly be a good thing for them more than anything else. I think it's kind of just work instead of just dealing with all the expectations and everything. I don't think people are expecting things from them anymore. I think now you look like they're gonna get hurt at some point in time.
Right. So they're expecting.
Honestly, I think the one thing that you miss is speaking of Clippers and that is the new player participation rules.
That's what my man brought up.
I think
my brand up to 65 games. You mean
65
game policy? Impact?
I think that's a huge because even Kawhi talked about that because somebody asked him about it and they was like, well, no policy is gonna make me play more. If I'm hurt, I'm hurt. And it was I hope that they didn't make this rule based off of my season with the Raptors because I was literally hurt that entire season.
Right.
So
right.
I think that's a bigger storyline than what people are giving credence to because all NBA teams may be extremely affected by this. You may not see a LeBron, you may not see a KD. If these things stay in place, you may not see some of these people being all NBA ever again.
Well, I mean that's fair. I'm not mad. I'm not
drastically changes. You might have somebody like Mikal Bridges being second team all NBA.
Right. Well, I mean, some
Sam
people
McHale
gonna get
isn't
paid
good.
off of that. Yeah, some
Exactly.
people is gonna get paid off of that.
A lot of money off of that. Which
Yeah,
I don't think that's a good or bad thing. I think, obviously you want to be played for your performance. If you perform, you deserve to be able to get compensated and also, for it. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. What do you think about I haven't got your thoughts, I don't think, on the inaugural in-season tournament. I call it a preseason tournament because it starts a week after the season starts. Some of those games are actually part of the tournament game. What do you think about that?
I don't have real thoughts on it until I see it. My thought process is just when it was described, I think it's dumb. I don't really like it. But I'm gonna give it a chance. Like, I want to at least see it first. Like, I remember even originally talking about the play-in. I don't know if I was like the biggest fan of it, but then once I started, I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, it kind of like ups the ante of the season. It gives like more teams just at least hope and a chance. So I mean, we'll see. Again, like, I want to see it before I just jump down and be like, nah, this is terrible, it's trash. But just my first thought, I don't like it.
It's Adam Silver priming the pipes for NBA team going to Las Vegas. That's what it is. That's really what I think it is. He knows that there's already a market for it in Seattle. They're priming the pipes for in Vegas just to make sure that they're going to get fans to the game. They're going to get fans attending the game. See if fans is going to fly to Vegas. They're priming the pipe, just kind of see for that weekend. I believe that weekend is going to be hype because it hasn't been.
It's going to be up.
Because there hasn't been this. It's going to be the first tournament. They haven't had this tournament before, so that first weekend in December is going to be hype in Vegas. It's also going to be the weekend. You better start planning right now for the Pac-12. The Pac-12, the final season of the Pac-12 championship. So that's going to be Vegas. Yeah, that's in Vegas. So that's going to be that weekend is going to be going down in Vegas.
That's on the football side, Pappy.
Yeah,
football. Okay.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be an explosive weekend in Vegas. So where do you have? I went on a long rant on the Bucks and Celtics trade. Who won that trade to you? Now that we know that,
I think that so I did a thing about this as far as the Bucks go. Obviously, if you have a chance to get Dame Lillard, you go out and you get Dame Lillard. Obviously, is top 75 player of all time, and even bigger than that. Like, obviously, NBA teams are business. You know what I mean? Jerseys you're gonna sell. Then the people you're gonna put in the seats. Also, you have to keep Giannis happy. Like, if Giannis leaves, pretty much your franchise leaves. Like, it's Milwaukee. You have to do what you can to keep people there. But I wonder if you quote unquote solved one problem, but just created a whole nother one. As far as like
Dame not being a defender.
Yes. And also the fact of I think we have to realize last time the Bucks were healthy, they won the NBA championship. It was 2 seasons ago. Last time they were fully healthy in the playoffs, they won the championship. Still to this day, nobody beat a fully healthy Milwaukee Bucks team. Like, last year, obviously lost in the first round, but I think it was a slight aberration. Obviously, Giannis bruised tailbone. The year before, you take Boston to 7, but Middleton was out. Last time they were healthy, they won the NBA championship. So again, like I said, if you have a chance to go get Dame Lillard, you go get Dame Lillard. But I don't know how Dame Lillard fixes. I don't necessarily know how Dame Lillard fixes your biggest issue, which I think is guarding wings.
I think a bigger issue was them scoring.
I disagree with that.
They're scoring in the fourth quarter. They're fourth quarter scoring.
Disagree with that. The reason I disagree with that slightly is because even when they won a championship, they were never a great offensive team, but they won games with their defense. I think the issue was the defense slipped more than anything else.
In the last couple of years,
yeah, the defense slipped more. Like, they didn't have anybody. Look at the roster. I don't like who. Even if you look at granted, obviously Jimmy didn't not Jimmy, but Drew didn't do himself any favors. When Jimmy had the performance that he had on last year, but at the same time, why is a guard trying to guard forward?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if you again, I get to thinking. Obviously, if we got, we playing against Miami and Jimmy going nuclear, we playing against Boston and Tatum going nuclear, we playing against, I don't know, somebody going is offensively crazy. Now we have a guy who can also max that offensive production. But again, I just wonder if you fixed one issue that I don't know was as much of an issue, but just created another one.
I don't know. I don't see that, Pappy. I see with Brook Lopez playing at a all defensive caliber last season, and Giannis, we know he got hurt. He got hurt going into the playoffs. But with you got two all defensive caliber guys, Giannis and Lopez, I think Dame is there to give him scoring in the fourth quarter, which you couldn't always count on. I know you like Middleton. You couldn't always count on Middleton to give you those points in the fourth quarter. And you should be able – they're going into it as everybody would be going into it, thinking Dame is going to give you those points in the fourth quarter. I think that kind of clears up those defensive woes that you're thinking about.
But what if you were dealing with the perimeter player who doesn't have to go in the paint to score points?
Fair enough.
Then also,
you talking about Tatum and Brown? You think Tatum and Brown's going to outdo those guys?
Tatum Brown. Like, even let's say you get into a series with Philly. Granted, if Harden has his head on straight, or if Harden is not there, and you can get some pieces for Harden. Let's say you playing against Tyrese Maxey. You trying to tell me Maxey can't match Dame for 2 games?
I don't think Philly's going to be in that situation. But that's a good point. That's a good point. You bring up a good point.
I'm just saying.
What you think, Cleveland?
Also, real quick, one more thing. I think some of the offensive struggle was more on Coach Bud, like the coaching of the team, than anything else. Like, they would just give Giannis the ball to just do a fullback dive from 25 feet out. Bro, you still had bro.
He said a fullback dive.
Bro, you still had other ways to be able to manufacture.
Sure.
Like, even when they won, like, they had Middleton using the pick and roll a lot, and he was using Giannis as like a roller a lot. They still had ways to manufacture offense, but for whatever reason, at times this year, they just went back to give Giannis the ball and I'm just fullback dive.
But I think now that you got Dame and to run a pick and roll with Giannis, like, now you're picking your poison because Dame conceivably could pass, right? And I think I understand what you're saying. They're not as of quote unquote a defensive minded squad, but I think Dame's scoring is going to overcome some of that. I think his scoring is going to overcome that. What do you think about the Bucks? Excuse me, not the Bucks, but the Celtics. I thought they got rid of Robert Williams and Grant Williams for Kristaps Porzingis, and I think I do think Drew helps him out. He's going to help him out with ball handling, and then helping Brown and Tatum so they don't have to dribble the ball. He's going to help them get easier shots. Same thing I've been saying about the Clippers for so many years. He needs them to get they need those guys to get easier shots. So I think Drew is going to help with that. What's your thoughts on were you at the Ritz-Carlton? Yeah, you took about 12 steps to get over there to the chair, dog.
Yeah, because I'm downstairs in like the
you're in the lobby.
Yeah,
okay.
lobby area.
I thought you was in the penthouse suite over there.
No. I actually think that the Celtics are the best team in the conference. I think that they have the least amount. When I look, I think they have the least amount of weaknesses. I think that Drew helps. What?
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I think that Drew helps them immensely. I think that he's a little bit better of an offensive player than Marcus Smart. Maybe he may not be as good all around defensively as Marcus Smart, but I think that he's just as good of a perimeter defender as Marcus Smart. You put that with Derek White and Drew Holiday, so you have two ball, and I think that he's a better ball handler and playmaker than him. I don't think he's a great one, but I think he's a better one than what Marcus Smart was.
Sure, I agree.
Meaning, please, can I see Lester Tatum handling the ball?
Right.
Please.
Tatum and Smart. Yes.
Smart handling the
ball. He eliminates that problem. Yes, I agree.
Eliminates that problem. Also, I think, getting KP is huge because I think that because KP didn't become the superstar that we thought he was going to become, people are like, he can't play basketball. But last year he was a 22-8, gave you 2 blocks, a steal. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? He gave you 22 points on 50% shooting. What are we doing?
Pappy. KP played in New York. He played in Dallas with expectations. He was in Washington.
He was watching Luka dribble in Dallas.
You don't think so? He averaged 20 in Dallas. I just looked at the numbers. He averaged 20 in Dallas, but
while still watching Luka dribble.
I think it was a hollow 20.
It wasn't a hollow 20. He was watching Luka dribble. You was at the game sitting right next to me.
Again, yes, but again, I don't think with expectations, KP hasn't stood. He hasn't stood up. He played.
But we
in
aren't
Washington.
expecting him. But also, we aren't expecting him to get you 25. At this point, he's pretty much the third option. Maybe some nights even fourth option.
Yeah.
Third, fourth
so
option.
You like
and also,
that. You like KP. You like KP, the addition of KP to the Celtics.
And also, I even think it even helps Drew. I think that sometimes if you want to argue offensively in Milwaukee, I think maybe sometimes he had too many expectations put on him. Like in some nights, he may have been the second option, the third option. Here, there will probably never be a night in which he's above the third option. Ever.
Yeah.
Because you have Tatum, you have Brown, and you have a guy who's scoring 20. Even some nights you have Derek White. Like I don't think like there can be nights when he can be the fifth option. So if he has an off offensive night, but he's still giving his production defensively.
But they don't have any rebound, Pappy. That's my concern with the Celtics. They don't have any rebounding and low posts. You expecting you're counting on KP for that?
The thing is, who's about to pound him in the paint?
Have you heard of Joel Embiid? Have you heard of him?
He shoots jump shots.
Well,
am I lying? He take mad fadeaways.
He does take a lot of fadeaways. And
he take mad fadeaways
and shoot 3-pointers.
He love to dribble.
I think even a player like Paolo Banchero, he's not going to be there in the playoffs, but he's going to be able to.
I said who was going to pound the ball inside. You said Paolo Banchero.
Tell me.
You said Paolo Banchero.
They're not. I think they're weak. They're weaker in the paint than they have been. And Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez. Like
Giannis,
they're not going to be able. They're not going to be able to contend with Giannis and Brook.
Brook Lopez post up.
What do you mean?
When's the last time you seen Brook Lopez post up?
I mean, he's
more than both times in one game.
Because he's trying to step out and shoot threes.
The people that you're not naming anybody who just finna you act like they playing against Shaq. Like they playing against somebody who's gonna get the ball in the block 20 times a game and drop step and dunk. And again, you still have Horford there. And again, Porzingis is still 7-3. Like granted, he's not gonna be a great one-on-one defender, but I still think, especially if let's say you want to put Al Horford on Giannis and you want to have Porzingis come and shade. Like I still think he can help clean up a lot because he's 7-3. And he averaged 2 blocks last year. Like he did that.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he's 7'3", he should fall into a couple block shots a game.
Oh, so what are we talking? Like, just literally go down the East. Okay, let's say they play Cleveland. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley gonna punish him?
Well, I don't need to think either one of them are to that point yet, but
okay. Hold on, keep going.
They're not at that point. They're not at that point yet. Fair enough.
Okay, keep going. Okay, they play the Sixers. What is it? Embiid and Tobias?
Well, no, come on. I was just thinking Embiid. Embiid goes in the paint. Come on, you can cut it out.
He shoots mad jump shots.
But he does. He shoots 5 out of his 20 shots a game are outside the paint. Yes, but he does go in the paint.
Only 5 of them.
Okay,
he
7 or 8 of them.
5 threes last year.
Yeah, fair enough. But stop acting like he don't go in the paint at all.
Not that much.
Stop acting like he don't go in the paint at all. You're acting like he don't go in the paint at all.
I'm not saying at all, but he don't go as much as he should.
All right, so who else you got? I mean, those are I think really only the contenders.
Okay,
Philly is only the true contenders.
Keep going. The Knicks, Mitchell Robinson and Randall, they finna punish you.
Well, no, not Mitchell Robinson. Not Mitchell Robinson.
Randall.
I mean, Randall's game is in the paint. His game.
Hold on, how many threes did Randall take last year?
Randall, his game is in the paint. That's the best of his game in the paint. Let me say that. That's the best of his game is in the paint.
Julius Randle last season took 8.3 threes per game. He shot 18 shots.
So a third of his shots were for 3-point range.
Who are they gonna play that's gonna make it just so tough down there that they gotta worry about?
Toronto.
Fucking Siakam and Precious Achua. And y'all finna punish you. G, you gonna lie to me, G?
So you got the Celtics.
Who they
Cleveland,
finna
he's convincing you. He's convincing you, Cleveland, that the Celtics might be the best team. Well, I don't think they're better than the Bucks. You don't think you got them better than the Bucks?
Listen. I think the
Because
Celtics
they
can.
got
Listen.
three.
No, I think the Celtics can very well be I think the Celtics offense will always be weird because Jason Tatum watched way too much Kobe Bryant footage and just convinced that he can do the same things. And it's like your biggest advantage is you being 6'10", so like you should play close to the basket, but he just doesn't want to do that because he watched too much Kobe footage and worked out with Kyrie too much. But I think that defensively they have the best team. I think they can pretty much guard pretty much anybody on any given night. I mean, like you may have two all defensive players in your backcourt, Derek White, Drew Holiday. I think Tatum is a very capable defender. I think Brown's a capable defender. Like I said, KP gave you 2 blocks. Horford still has life left in his body. Like you still have a very good basketball team. Like
no, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying they're not a good team. I think they're second in the East, though.
I think that they can be I think that they, on paper, when I look at them on the East, they have the least amount of weaknesses out of anybody in the East.
And you're not convincing the Bucks and what Dame and the Dame combination.
I love the move. I just wonder if you quote unquote solve one problem and created a whole nother one.
What do you think, Cleveland?
I think that the Milwaukee Bucks have the highest ceiling. I think adding Dame Lillard takes so much pressure off of Giannis that he can, again, do other things. And with his scoring average being able to go down by like 5 points a game and them still not, miss a step is significant. I think that once you move Middleton to like the third best scorer, that's huge. Once you don't absolutely have to have, 3 to 5 3-pointers from Brook Lopez. There's so much pressure taken off that team offensively. And then we got someone that can shoot from the logo. And you're playing in the Eastern Conference, so the teams that you're playing are just not nearly as dominant. It will be a game changer.
Yeah, I think that. But you said you think the Chris Paul in the Warriors mix that should be higher on my list. I had that at number 6. Do you think Chris Paul? I mean, I wasn't sure he was going to start the season with the Warriors, but how do you think this works out, Pavi?
I'll say this. I think that he helps. I think the one thing that he helps with is not turning the ball over. I think obviously there's like the Warriors have had issues literally since their inception to turn the ball over. And I think if there's one thing that we know that Chris Paul does is he doesn't turn the ball over. So I think that, kind of inserting him into that Jordan Poole slot, maybe he's not the high octane scorer that Poole was, but he won't turn the ball over, which I think will be. Go ahead. Do
you think that Chris Paul can play that Jarrett Jack position? Because you remember when they started their run, they had listen to what I'm saying. I'm not comparing him to Jarrett. I'm not comparing him to Jarrett Jack.
I know. I'm just like I know. Yes.
When they started their run, they had they had that point guard and Steph Curry was playing off the ball, and they had that point guard that was Jarrett Jack, who was the point guard that got hurt, who had the knee injury, came back and played for them. Played in their championship years. I'm having a brain fart to talk to
Sean
Livingston. So again, they had a point guard that allowed Steph Curry to play off ball, but that point guard was still able to run their offense. The Jarrett Jack, then the Livingston. Do you think that Chris Paul can slide right into that role? Because that's what I think. That's what I think when they sign them. That I think that's the only really way that can work. And those guys have been used to playing with another ball handler, right? In that same role, the Jaren Jack and then Livingston. And again, Chris Paul is a different player than those guys. However, for that, it worked for that role. It worked for that situation.
Yes, I do. But again, I'm more so looking for him to command the second unit. Command the second unit if you want to go out there like Chris Paul, Clay, Wiggins, and Kuminga. I think he really more so help out like those lineups.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
And stabilize those lineups.
Okay, but it doesn't sound like
not turn. Go ahead.
Is he convinced that is he convinced in playing that second lineup?
Do he got a choice?
I don't think so, but I haven't heard him say I'm a second role player though.
I mean, he not gonna say it, but do we got a choice? What he think he finna come in here and do?
Yeah, I don't think so. Big Vic, does Big Vic carry the Spurs? Does he carry them? Cleveland pointed out that they're saying that he's the most anticipated player since LeBron, since Kareem. Does he? We saw what he did in summer league. Are we expecting this dude to carry the Spurs to a top 5-6 seed in the West?
Oh my goodness, no! And if somebody's expecting that, please get help.
Yeah, I'm not expecting that either. That's why I had the story. That's why he was so far down in my storyline, because I don't anticipate that. I mean, they'll be good. They'll have some highlights.
I do expect them to be better. And also with the Spurs last year, like I went to a couple of those Spurs games. They were doing everything in their power to lose basketball games.
They
were trying very hard to lose basketball games. Like it was very subtle with just what they would do to lose basketball games.
Right.
They were trying everything they could to give themselves a competitive disadvantage many nights. So they aren't as bad as they were last season. And like I think they could win 28, 30, 31, 33 games. You know, get like another top 10 pick. Put that with Scohan, Keldon Johnson. They just paid Devin Vassell. Still got Trey Jones. Like I think they're like building something. But no, I don't expect them to be like a top 5. So the West is too tough for that.
Where do you see?
I'm not even 100% sure if Victor is winning Rookie of the Year.
Well, it's going to come down to how many games he plays. I mean,
I'm not convinced if he win 82 games, he gonna win the award.
So there's only one other person who can win the award.
Who?
Scoot Henderson.
Forgetting about Chet.
Nah, that's cheating.
How is it cheating?
That's cheating. Come on.
The same shit Blake did it. Ben Simmons did it.
That was cheating when Blake did it. That was cheating when Ben Simmons did it too. Come on. You can't be eating NBA food, flying on NBA planes, getting NBA paychecks for a season, and then come back and thinking you're a rookie. Come on, that's cheating.
That's cheating.
Because again, you had a year to ingratiate yourself to get acclimated. Oh, come on, man! But you still ate NBA food. You still had got NBA training.
NBA food. Scoot got NBA too. Scoot did too.
What in the G League?
It is.
I mean
that
ain't the same, dog. Come on, that ain't the same. He wasn't flying and traveling with NBA squads, going through NBA practices. Come on, that was not the same. Okay. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I get your point, but that'll be cheating. If Chet actually won it, that would be cheating.
I don't think it's cheating. But you said, what do I think about the Suns?
Yeah, what do you think about the Suns? And now that they have a bench, now that they have last year they didn't have a bench. Now that they've had an offseason together, KD, Bradley Beal, and Booker. Where do you think? I got the Suns kind of healthy in that 3-4 spot in the West. Where do you see the Suns?
I still think they have absolutely no one to play any ounce of defense. But I think they'll be cool to watch. I don't think they're winning the NBA title. I understand the Nurkic move, one, for cap reasons, also two.
So you didn't like the Nurkic move?
No, I like it. I get it. I mean, I think Aiden's a better basketball player, but I think that Nurkic.
I thought so.
But I think Nurkic is less maintenance. I also think he's a bigger body. So you think if you play a guy like Jokic, he's just a bigger body to be able to lean on him. But I think that actually at the center position, Drew Eubanks will play a huge role for them. I think he's a more mobile big.
Didn't they have Londale? Wasn't Londale on their team last year?
Last year, yeah, but they got Drew Eubanks now.
Yeah, Londale, where'd he go? Did he go to the Spurs?
I forgot where he went. He might have. I forgot. But I think Drew Eubanks will play a huge role for them. But I mean, I like the acquisitions. Like I think they can realistically go 10 deep. You got Grayson Allen, you got Eric Gordon, you got Watanabe, you have Josh Okogie, you have Nasir Little, you have Damon Lee. Like they have legitimate NBA players. I just don't know who's supposed to guard somebody, and they got health concerns too. Like we talking about, the Lakers, and we talking about the Clippers. They on that list too. KD ain't playing 70 games. Bradley Beal ain't been in health this person either.
He ain't been healthy for the last 5 years either. Yeah, that's facts. That's
so
facts.
so they got a little health concerns over there too as well.
But I think some of the people that they got can take some of the minutes off of these guys. So KD's not paying 35 minutes a game. KD can, play 30 minutes a game. The same with Booker. I mean, Booker should be able to play more games. It's the same as your guy Bill as well. So what are your top storylines as we let you go? What are your top storylines in the NBA? Since you didn't like my top story, you said the Grizzlies. What else you got?
I think the Grizzlies are a storyline. I think you got to put Philly in there just because, like, what's going on, yo? So I think you got to put Philly in there, and like with the Harden situation.
I was kind of hardened out. I was kind of hardened out, man.
I think it could be a great story either way. I think that we could be seeing the end of Harden's NBA career. I think he could be very close to playing himself out the league. Like if we remember how the first time Melo ended, or even how AI ended. Like it's not like AI went from 2020 to like AI went from 25 to 18 to basically out the league.
Right.
Like it was very quick. So I think we could be seeing the beginning of that with James Harden. So that's one thing.
What's the talk about James Harden to the Clippers? Are you buying in that? You buying that talk? Do you think that's legitimate? Do you think they need him?
I think it'd be a great deal for both teams. I think it would fix up some of the log jam that the Clippers have. I think it would take away some of the forwards. Like they have like 19 forwards on the roster still. They tried to trade Marcus Morris. It didn't. The trade actually got rescinded. I don't know how much he wants to be there at this point. So now I think it would be a good trade for both teams. I think that the Sixers they actually need the wings and need the depth. You get 4 players, and the Clippers, I mean, at least Harden and Russ gonna play every night. And then you got to think about obviously you going to a new stadium next season. Even if even if Kawhi or PG leave, you still got Russ, Harden, and like a combination of those guys to bring in your new stadium. People will come see them play. So I think it's a win-win situation for both teams personally. So
have you been able to see the new stadium? Have you guys been able to tour the new stadium?
I haven't.
You hit the guys, hit Curtis up, man. Try to go tour the new stadium. You got to be ready to at least touring for media to be able to tour.
I don't even know where it's actually at because I was at SoFi the other day and I was trying to look for I don't even know where it is in relation to the Forum and SoFi.
It's on shit. Now you're making me think. It's on Prairie. Shit, what is that road? It's on Prairie. It's south of the stadium. It's south. Apparently, there's movie theaters, right? Apparently, the movie theater's already up in the SoFi campus. It's across the street from the movie theater. So what is that? Is directly? Are you know what the movie theater is at SoFi on the campus?
I haven't even seen the movie theater.
The movie theater.
The YouTube theater.
Not the YouTube theater. No. There's movie theaters. There's movie theaters on that same campus.
Okay.
So what street is the casino on? What street do you enter the casino on? Because right now
I have no idea.
Man,
but
it's the same street
it's over there.
The same street Target is on, the same street.
Okay. It's over there.
Fucking AT&T is on that. That's just south of the stadium. Whatever that main street is. How am I having a brain fart as many times I drove on that damn street? Century.
Okay.
So Century and Prairie. It's on Century and Prairie. It's on that side of the stadium.
Okay.
It's on that side of the stadium.
Okay. I still haven't seen it.
Yeah, but they gotta have that available for touring though. Check with Curtis, man. They gotta be available for touring.
I'll check. But all in all, rounding that out, I would like that for both teams. I think for both teams that could do something beneficial. Again, I think that number one, it frees up Maxey. Like I thoroughly believe in Maxey. I think Maxey is the guy.
I agree with that.
It frees up Maxey. Also, I think you can run more of an offense. That they can run more of an offense without him. I also think it would force Embiid to shoot less jump shots because sometimes I think you want to get Harden involved, so you want to do the pick and roll, and he ends up picking and popping and just popping to the. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it could do well for both teams. And I think it would make the Clippers roster on paper make more sense. Because, we've talked about this for years. They've been starting 3 small forwards for 4 years.
Right. And
so I think it would make their.
But Russ and Harden didn't work out in Houston, though.
That is not true. They were the 4th seed when the pandemic happened. And then Russ came back and he had a thigh injury and had COVID. And then they traded their center. and it just wasn't the same. I
don't know why I don't know why they traded old boy to Atlanta. Right?
I got the point, but like that's not true though. Like think before they like the season ended, they were both. I think Russ was averaging like 27 points on 50% shooting, and Harden was still giving you 34. It's not true. And also their wings weren't PG and Kawhi. They had Eric Gordon and Tucker.
Right. So you believe that could work then? Harden to the Clippers.
I think it makes the roster make more sense. And now we got to see about the definition of working, but I think it makes the roster on paper just make more sense. I think your roster has more synergy.
Man, interesting. Cleveland, what question you got for Pavi?
I guess my only question would be, who do you think is going to win the NBA championship?
Yeah, the way too early predictions, Pavi, like you like to give us.
I think counting out the Nuggets is hard. I think counting out the Nuggets is still very hard. I mean, I think it'll be obviously very tougher than the repeat, but I think counting them out is very hard. I mean, look, you still have guys who can still improve. Like Jokic isn't like old, like he can still get better. Murray can still get better, and I'm sure like the confidence of doing it. You come back in the camp with a different confidence, and all those guys are still in their 20s. And I don't think I saw a team in the West that got just exponentially better to the point where I'm just like, oh, they can't beat them. So I'd probably say, I would still maybe have to say even like the Nuggets.
That was my top storyline. Can they defend the title? I think losing Bruce Brown, man. I think Bruce Brown was a great glue player for those guys. But
I do like Christian Braun.
Yeah, I think in spurts. And he played his role in spurts. I don't know if he could do that for a season. I think Bruce Brown kind of been playing that role for the Nets and then end up playing that role
Bruce
for the
Brown
Nuggets.
Was not doing that shit he was doing on the Nets at Denver. He was a good player. He wasn't doing this shit though. He couldn't even shoot with the Nets. He came to Denver and somehow got a flamethrower.
Was he allowed to play that, allowed to flow like that for the Nets though? He was playing behind Kyrie.
I think that when you play with Jokic, you're allowed to do a lot of things.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he was given that freedom to do.
But you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, I think that when you play with a player like Jokic, you can do a lot more than what you could do if you didn't play with Jokic.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see, yeah. So when Jokic is making him better is what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
So Braun, he's good in spurts. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if he was. I don't dislike him.
I agree with you. No, I mean, I'm not. I feel you. I feel you. Like, I think that losing Bruce Brown was like definitely a thing, and they have to figure that out. But still, I don't know if that was so much of a loss that I'm like, they have no chance to, repeat that.
No. I mean, and then if old boy can get healthy and play consistently better. Who am I talking about? The 16 guy from the Northwest. From
Porter?
Yeah, Porter. Yeah, if he can get better and just play consistent basketball, I mean, he never really been truly consistent. If he gets better and play consistent, I mean, what you think about the Kyrie Luka experiment?
I think they're gonna score a lot of points. I think I'm gonna watch them on league pass.
Are they gonna
watch them on league pass?
Are they gonna defend anybody?
They're not gonna guard nobody, but they're gonna score a lot of points. And I think Jaden Hardy can be most improved player, or can put his name in the half of most improved player.
Wow. Okay. All right. Man, I know it's late. Out there, man. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks for joining us on the show. Let the people know where they can find you, Pavi, if they don't know already.
As always, man, you can follow me on Twitter at PavyWorld, PAVY, all one word. Also have a new song out right now. It's called Swing My Way. Go check that out. You can check that out. Paverge.com. That's PAverge.com. And yeah, man, appreciate y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Keep swinging our way. We appreciate you, fam.
My dog.
Later. All right, Cleveland, let's wrap this up, big dog. Let's wrap this up, man. You agree or disagree with what Pavi was talking about?
I agreed with a lot of it. Again, I think it comes down to I don't believe in depth as much as you guys do. So when you guys start talking about how rosters are kind of filled out, I still think it's the first 8 that you look to. If you're looking past that for somebody to help you with some things, you're looking too far. You can do some things for a little bit, but not for a long period of time. I don't think the Harden Westbrook thing went as smoothly as he was saying. I think maybe on the court it did, but I think a lot of the off the court things, not so much. We'll see how round 3 goes if it happens. Should be an exciting season, but I think the storylines are what they are, and if some other ones develop, that's great. But I think right now it's just a race to see who can surpass Milwaukee in the East, and if someone can dethrone Denver in the West.
All right, fans. Each and every week we give you a couple things that make our podcast different. We play the numbers game, which you'll find another podcast does. Another thing that we do is differently is give you this week in history, Cleveland. So give you a couple key points of what happened in history. In October 2, 1967, Thurgood Marshall Cleveland became the first African American Supreme Court justice after being sworn in, and that was October 2nd, 1967. September 27, 1974, Frank Robinson named manager of the Cleveland Indians, became the first black manager of a Major League Baseball team. That was pretty incredible. October 4, 1988, the Martin Luther King Federal Building in Atlanta is the first federal building in the nation to be dedicated to the name of the slain civil rights leader. Cleveland, you'll remember in October 3rd, 1995, O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the 1994 murders of his ex-wife and her friend Ron Goldman, and that really kind of changed TV, didn't it?
Certainly
at that time. 1996, September 26th, Miguel Cabrera, shout out to him who's retiring, became the first Triple Crown the first player to win the Triple Crown since 1967. So over 30 years, he became the first one to do it. Led the league with a .330 batting average, 44 home runs, and 139 RBIs in the regular season. Miguel Cabrera. That was pretty impressive. Cleveland's wrap it up. The transfer portal is now being reduced from 60 days to 45 days. Do you think that's in response to what Deion is doing in with the transfer portal to not hinder his growth or development, but just kind of minimize the length of time that he's able to kind of poach these players? Is going from 60 days to 45 days. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure if it's a direct correlation with regards to what they think he could potentially do. I don't think that he's ever orchestrated some type of transfer that was, in a longer time duration than the 45 days. So, no, I guess I don't know enough about it to really say that it's specifically targeting, Deion Sanders and his method of, gaining, recruits to the portal. So.
What do you think, Cleveland, with Caleb Williams traveling to Colorado, putting up 6 touchdowns in a game and beating Colorado in front of a bunch of eyeballs? Did that elevate him if he wasn't already to the front runner for the Heisman? It does not elevate him to the.
He was already the front runner for the Heisman. He was already the consensus number 1 pick going into this week before a draft. So
he didn't really do much.
He didn't really do much to change anyone's opinion about that.
Cleveland. Now, I thought when we heard about this story years ago, I truly thought that the Los Angeles Dodgers did not do enough to support their players. Support their player in that was going through the allegations of, all that he was going through. Trevor Bauer, I'm speaking of. Do you agree with that, Cleveland? Now that we kind of see some of the stuff that he's, that he put out through social media that he was dealing with the extortion. Do you believe in him? Do you believe that the Dodgers did all they could to support their player?
I think the Dodgers got away from it as quickly as is humanly possible in such a cancel culture. and just the way that it would look on their franchise if they made the wrong decision. It would have given the perception that they were supporting someone that was quote unquote a rapist or sexual assaulter. So it was just easier to distance themselves as much as humanly possible.
But I mean, they weren't supporting their guy though. Do you think that was cool? I don't think that was cool. What's your thoughts?
I think in retrospect, I mean, when you look at, I mean, they're not lawyers, so they didn't have like, exculpatory evidence, and they didn't, do a bunch of, depositions or whatever. They got as much information as they could, given what the situation was calling for. And it would be a matter of them like just assuming that Trevor Bauer wasn't lying when he told them the story initially. Dodgers is a $3 billion franchise, so $3 billion plus, I should say. So yeah, it was easier just to do that. I don't think they made the wrong decision. It's unfortunate that when everything came to light, that he was in the right, and his career and his reputation has taken an incredible beating. But I don't think you can necessarily blame the Dodgers for what it is that they did, given the set of circumstances. I mean, imagine if the Baltimore Ravens backed Ray Rice and then the video came out, right?
I mean, you gotta show something for your players, though, man. Just as soon as something happens, any felonious argument that goes out there, now you just
no, it's a little bit more than that. It went on for quite a while. So I mean, obviously you can't, you're not lawyers, so you can't just, go back and forth on every single thing that happens. But it's unfortunate that it happened, and I certainly feel bad for him, and he definitely got a raw deal, but I can't say that the Dodgers just supported him more without knowing more about the situation.
My goodness, remind me, don't call you when some shit goes down. My goodness, you're going to throw me right under the bus. Man. Fans, here goes the voice of the fans fantasy squad right now. As you can see by looking at this list, you see one player down here leading the league in scoring right now. We lost a nail biter last week. I'd have been 3-1. It was lost a nail biter, but you can see how I'm handling my business by scoring more points than anybody in the league. Where you at, Young Sam? What's your record?
Yeah, I'm in second place right there.
You're just one game ahead of me, man. Just one game ahead of me. Don't line up against me. I can tell you that right now. Mm-hmm. Don't line up against me.
Sure.
Because I'm gonna have let me just review my team real quick, fam. Let me just show you guys who I got. This week I got Jordan Love, Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Oh, I got that stud Devon Acne. Okay, A-Chain. That's the choo-choo train. A-Chain going at it. Sam Laportier, Nico Collins. Who's his quarterback, Cleveland?
It is CJ Stroud, Cam.
Yeah, and they doing big things, man. They doing big things. Young guys stepping forward and taking over the league, Cleveland. Now let's look at your team. Let's look at your team who's squeaking by right now. Who I think the fans would rather have my squad. Let's look at and see who you guys got. Who's squeaking? Who you squeaking by with? Oh, that's still my time. Let me see who you got on here, Cleveland. That's what an unimpressive team you got. I don't know why my screen jumping like this. Let's see who you got. Oh, you got Stroud, huh? Stroud, Jefferson, Zay Flowers. How's this working out for you? I saw you sat Pacheco on the bench last week, and he went ahead and hit you up for third.
Yeah. Don't worry about what my team is doing, Cam. You should really be concerned with what your team is doing. But as you can see, he's in the lineup this week, at least at present. I haven't decided, fully what I'm going to do, but
What you gonna do with Gibbs, man? Looks like you don't know how to work with Gibbs. Why don't you go ahead and put Gibbs on the block? I'll pick him up.
Maybe we'll see.
If you don't know how to treat him, I treat him right.
Okay.
I talk to him. I get him ready. Look like you don't know what to do with him. Drake London, how's he working out for you?
He hasn't been bad. But right now he's not one of my top tier receivers. So
Jamar Gibbs, man, you need to go ahead and since you don't know how to use him, let somebody else have them. How about that?
Yeah, I know what your experience is with those Bama backs. So Yeah.
I mean, I could use them. I mean, I got A-Chain running going back there, but I could use them. I got room for a big dog. Let's look at it one more time. I know I shouldn't be showing you my squad, but let me show you one more time. I could use Gibbs again, since you don't know how to use them. Mixing and put him in the backfield with A-Chain, had two speedsters. Yeah.
All right. Well, I might entertain it for Ross St. Brown or Paper Chase. We'll see. We'll see what you want to do.
Get out of here. Yeah, those are the guys that I'd be looking at passing them over with. All right, man. Who you got winning the World Series, Cleveland? Since your Mariners couldn't make it, they didn't know what they was doing.
Los Angeles Dodgers.
They're gonna win it all. Who are they gonna play? Who are they gonna play?
Most likely the Houston Astros.
Again, so we get a rematch. Would this be the third time they match up in recent years? Or is it just two? Because Astros won. The Astros won one. Who did the Dodgers beat? The Dodgers beat the Astros, right? The Dodgers beat because the Astros beat them with the Cheney. With
the Astros.
The Astros beat them when they were cheating.
Astros beat the Phillies last year. And the year before that, Atlanta beat who did Atlanta beat?
Did they beat the Astros? Because the Astros
would have been the Astros were back-to-back World Series. Perhaps. I would have to look that up. Not 100% sure.
Because the Astros beat the Dodgers when they had the cheating scandal, right? When they were banging the
garbage
right?
cans.
The Astros beat the Dodgers. Then the Dodgers came back and beat the Astros. Do I have that correct?
I don't recall the sequence of events for the World Series champions.
I'm almost positive, man. I'm almost positive that happened because that was big. So 2022, the Astros won last year. The Braves won in 21. The Dodgers won in 20. The Washington Nationals won in 19. The Washington. So they didn't go back. Well, that doesn't mean they didn't go back to back. The Astros. That was just the winners. It didn't show who they played. The Astros, the AL winner was the Astros won the AL in 2020, 2022, 21. Tampa Bay won it in 20. So the Dodgers beat Tampa Bay, and they won it in 2019. So the Astros won the World Series 3 of the past 4 years. All right.
Let's see if they get back.
All right, Cleveland. What do you got to say about, man, Jermell Charlo? I actually was rooting for Canelo to knock Charlo block off because I just think he's an idiot. And I think he's an idiot. I would, for Charlo to win, for Charlo to beat Canelo, it would have made for a good fight. And, I was looking for a good fight. And that was not a good fight. Charlo clearly went in there to looking for, I don't want to say he took a dive, but he was looking for his best payday of his career. He was satisfied with his best payday career. And, didn't get in there and scrap for all the shit that he talked, for all the, the huff and puffing that he does and crap talking that he does. He didn't get in there and fight whatsoever. He didn't fight Canelo. He took a couple punches. It looked like I didn't see I literally Cleveland walked 6 blocks just to watch that, walked a half mile just to see that fight. Because the first couple bars I was at in Denver decided not to show it. So I went up, had to go up the street. And so I finally got there. They were in the 3rd round. And I saw Charlo took a punch to the ribs. And from then on, he didn't want to lift his arms. He didn't want to lift his arms and swing and fear that he was going to get hit. And, you can't fight like that. Any boxer, let alone Canelo, who's, heat-seeking missile out there. and just he dominated the fight. I couldn't give one round to Charlo. Some people say he won the fifth. Some people want to say he won the sixth. I couldn't give one round to Charlo. And was severely disappointed in Charlo. And then when he got his post-fight press conference, he gets in there smiling and saying, I did the best I can. I fighting one of the greatest guys in boxing, and I'm happy with my performance. I was even further disappointed in what this guy did. What's your thoughts on the Canelo-Charlo fight?
Can't be disappointed in him. He was fighting the wrong Charlo to begin with. Everybody knew that. He was too small, and he did the best that he could. Got his payday and, kept the Charlo name. I mean, he didn't disrespect the name. So that's all.
What do you mean he didn't? He
did the best he could. He's 12 pounds too light. It showed. He couldn't hurt him. And when like you said, when he hit him, it hurt him. So he was just trying to, protect himself at all times. And that's what that looks like.
Man, that was a terrible showing, I thought. It was a terrible showing. It was a terrible showing for boxing. I don't think it was a good look for the Charlo family, for the Lions only. He didn't look like no lion in there to me, especially after the fight when he's talking about, I'm satisfied with what I did. I was fighting the greatest guy ever. It didn't look like a championship fight to me. Fans, I don't know what you guys thought. I don't know what you guys saw. It was not a good look. But fans, I want to thank you. We ran way late tonight. I want to give out a shout out to my guy Pavi. Give a shout out to my guy Cleavon, who apparently having charger issues there. But fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, fans, every Wednesday we're here. You can catch us on Spotify, Tuned In, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you miss any part of the show, feel free to check us out there. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. Good night.